I did 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, you did.
2 weeks in a row.
Dude, you literally have one job to do when we start this thing, don't you?
You know, but I noticed last week they really can't tell.
They can't.
Yeah,
They can't.
You know, because they're hearing the exact
Right
same
now, they're
thing.
like, what are they talking about?
Yeah.
Well, we hear the intro music, and we're not supposed to, but this is when Chris is going to start back over and say,
they don't know I'm Chris.
oh, and they're going to say, hey, this is Chris.
See, in my mind, the show's ruined already.
Yeah. Well, that's normal for you.
You're Chris. My name is Chris. I'm hosting the show. And always joined by my co-host of the show, Sean.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Weekly Games Chat. I'm joined by two Ds. On my right, Sean. And on my left, John.
Yeah, I'm the girthier. John's the longer. Oh, see what I did there?
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's a compromise. You can be proud of both things.
Yeah, and
girth
Two things.
and length.
Two things.
That's exactly right, Sean. That's exactly right.
Yeah, I feel good today.
I do too. It's
Yeah.
been a pretty good day.
I made these guys wait a little bit. I was a little late today.
Shame.
On me, but I do respect these two fellers. So I'm ready to bring my A game today.
I mean,
Yeah.
you abandoned me at lunch.
I don't, dude. I am so strapped at the workhouse now.
Oh, no, I know how you
That's what I've
feel.
heard.
It's wait.
Now you understand how we all
Richard joke,
Right.
Richard joke.
are. Now you understand our lives.
Yeah, it's like if you get out, you're like I'm free. I can go have food with friends.
Yeah.
But I've enjoyed the cafe that my company provides. I've learned all the ins and outs of the pleasures of the cafe world.
Chicken fingers?
Oh, yes.
Oh, dude, buffalo chicken wrap,
No.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Chris introduced me to that.
legit. There's a secret sauce, Chris. Secret sauce.
Tell me about this.
Well, basically, John, it's buffalo sauce with a little bit of ranch in it, and it's life.
So
Do
what
they-
90% of Americans do when they eat chicken wings. Okay, gotcha.
Do you add the sauce yourself, or do they work it into
No,
the
you go,
sauce?
hey, can I have some of that sauce? And they give you a look, and they go, yeah, you can have some of that sauce.
When you leave, do you have an erection?
Oh,
Can you say erection on
Yeah,
the podcast?
yeah, because
yeah.
it's
Let's not curse.
dysfunctions and what?
Sorry.
Well, there goes
We
that.
prefer, like,
There goes that happy ride we were on.
that said, you could also just say like hard on,
Or
a boner, stiffy. I mean, there's so many things to not saying the actual medical term.
but I like the
That you
medical
could
term.
go
It's
with,
work.
yeah.
He said stiffy.
Yeah.
Stiffy.
Rod. Yeah, that just happened. And how you
Viagra
doing
special.
on your Wednesday morning?
Everyone have a good week?
I did. I did some things.
Me too.
We technically took off. We recorded on a special day last week.
yeah.
They may have caught that or may not have, but and we both went to a concert in Atlanta, but two different concerts with two very different experiences.
Yes, I went to a thing called rock and roll.
And I went to a thing called Pop and Rock or Rock and Pop. I went to go see Pink with a bunch of people. Actually, and I'm going to tell you right now.
Don't lie, you went by yourself.
Well, if I did, I still would have had a good time. Pink, if you're not a fan of, I know Pink songs, right? The artist Pink, pop superstar.
I
whatever
hope
she
so.
is.
Your wife is like a super fan.
So I know it. Not all of them resonate with me, or at least they didn't before I saw her live. And there's something to be said about seeing an artist. I don't care if it's pop or not. When they do their artwork, their art in front of you, and they express it like you don't get to see all the time.
Sure.
There's certain things that you can connect with. And I'll tell you one thing, if Pink can do anything, she can sing and she can put on a show. That show was amazing. I didn't know, or I didn't like every song she played, obviously, but the ones that I did know or kind of liked, I'm more of a fan of now. And as we're leaving, we do a thing where we go to the MARTA station. And it just helps with traffic when you go to the big events. As we're leaving, right? As we're leaving, somebody goes, "That show was awesome, right?" And we were like, there were people there like, yeah. And then somebody was like, "I don't think we went to the same shows," because some of us were dressed like we were going to a pop concert, and some of us were dressed like we were going to a rock concert, right?
Gotcha.
And then it was brought up that no, we went to go see Lil Feat.
Ah, yeah,
And I was
that's
like,
why I wanted to go do
buddy. So yeah, how was that show?
it. It was fun. I mean, I've seen them once before, but It was like their 50th anniversary. For those, if you haven't heard of Little Feat, I'm not surprised. It's a band that's literally celebrating their 50th anniversary. So this is your dad's generation, most likely, you know. And that's who I was there with. I was there with my parents. Now, I did have a wonderful drunk incident in front of me with drunk uncle getting way too drunk and then getting way too handsy with some younger patrons. And then I just, out of the blue, I see him get pulled out, and like I hear one of the other adults in the room go, "It's fine. We're getting him an Uber." And I was like, okay.
Drunk uncle.
Yeah, old drunk uncle.
And it was a Tuesday night.
It was Tuesday.
Like that also hit me as we're sitting up there on that show, because remember we recorded on Monday.
Yeah.
So it was Tuesday, and it's so weird to be at a show on like a day of a
On
week.
a Tuesday?
On a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Concerts, I think, are better for whatever reason on Friday or Saturday. Friday, there's just something to be said about the excitement of that. And no, it's fine. I'm not going. It's cool. She will never know that she called, and I'm going to a custom message to her.
That's funny.
She doesn't listen to the show.
That is funny.
My wife, John. She'll listen.
Your wife.
On it today, fellas. That's what I'm talking about.
But yeah, it was fun. See, I did the thing where I took the next day off, so it wasn't that big of a deal for me. You know, I just stayed up there. Both my parents, my sister lives in Atlanta, so we stayed at her place. Went out for breakfast the next morning, then came back.
Good.
Yeah. Penny was upset because she knew she had been betrayed.
Penny was an angel.
Oh,
Yeah,
how was
was with you.
Because you were the default penny keeper.
Yeah, she's usually
Would you like to be a default pancake?
well. Our house is like Penny's getaway because that's where her boyfriend
In
lives.
the middle of the street.
Yeah.
Wow.
Jeez.
I got that.
But Penny is usually has in the past has been much more whinier, because a dog, when you take it to a new environment, it expects the same rules from the environment they came from. I know you guys aren't stupid. You understand that about dogs.
Well,
So Tucker, our smallest dog, is the dog who typically sleeps in the bed with us. Mm-hmm. That was a no-go for Penny most of the time. She'd have to be in the bed with us all the time. But with this time around, I was turning the lights out, going to bed. She didn't follow me upstairs. She apparently just stayed on the couch all night.
It's what she
until
does
about
now.
6 o'clock in the morning. She starts whining. We hear her whine, and I go out of the bedroom, and she's sitting at the top of the stairs, almost looking at our door, hoping that she gets invited in, because Chris mentioned that Penny will wake him up around that time,
Yes.
or sort of gradually
Especially
wake
if
him
it's
up.
cold.
Right.
If it's cold, like what she does now, and this is why, you don't get the whining anymore, is that at night, she usually just comes out here and either sleeps on the couch or in her bed over there. I don't know why she started doing it, but she did. And I'm not too upset because it's about to be summer, and having a dog in your bed in the summer kind of sucks, right?
Yeah.
Because they're just like a source of heat.
yeah,
But,
they're like heat balls.
but especially in the winter, she comes at about 6 o'clock every morning, and she hops up, or she'll whine until I'm in a position where she can hop up, and then she just goes straight under the covers and lays against my back, and then once we get close to 7, she'll give little whimpers because now she knows it's time for breakfast. And once my alarm goes off, then it's that's the activation thing. All things go, because now she knows for sure it's breakfast time.
Well, I just know that this week, the beginning of this week, I would have taken Penny as a distraction over what happened to us, me and my wife,
Your wife.
early Monday morning. I don't know if you've ever been put in a situation to where it's time to change your smoke alarm, your smoke detector.
I read about this on your wife's Facebook page.
And it decides to remind you that it's time to change the smoke detector at around 3 or 4 in the morning, where every minute there's a beep. And I know from my 3 dogs, these big dogs, I mean, you've seen Burgess, he's a tank. I now know
Fluffy tank.
that at least Harper, well, I know all. I now know that all 3 of them will be hopeless if we ever have a home invasion.
Good.
Because Burgess hears the beep, and every time he hears the beep, he starts clawing at his kennel. Tucker would not leave my wife alone. Every time he heard the beep, I kicked him out of bed. And as I was getting up to go to the bathroom, Tucker immediately, after I kicked him out of the bed, jumped back onto my to my wife because the beep,
Your wife.
the tiny beep,
I wasn't going to do that one.
the tiny beep that would go
decision.
off for hours, it would terrify these dogs. And it's just like, really?
So it started at 3 a.m.?
I guess it started around 4 a.m. I didn't really notice it because I'm a heavy sleeper, but apparently Clarissa went downstairs and changed out the battery, and that didn't work. So we had to completely change the unit yesterday.
Oh, that sucks.
But it kept my wife up for
Your
hours, and it started.
Now I'm back on.
It started to happen as she was in REM sleep.
Oh, that sucks.
So she got pulled out. She got pulled out of REM sleep, and so we've been just kind of catching up.
So she was like a zombie yesterday, huh?
Zombie.
And we'll find out about this maybe some other time, but it hasn't helped catching sleep up when you're playing a new game that has been rocking my world. But that remains unnamed.
In other news,
Yep.
friend of the show, Tony P. Henderson,
Tony P.
missing, according to the latest Avengers trailer. That was a weird surprise in my
Wasn't that
life.
weird?
Well, like the funny thing is,
Didn't he just
before,
make that? I just thought he just photoshopped
No.
that.
I went to IGN. Like I watched the trailer that morning, and they just had some screen caps, and I was going through, and I get to that part, and I'm like, wait a minute, that says Tony P. Henderson on there.
Yeah.
And I was like, huh? And then I go over, and I guess it, without saying it, it sounds like he knows someone who works up at the digital arts side of Marvel in Atlanta. And like they had told him, like, look, if you want, I can put your name in the background somewhere in the movie. I can't tell you, like between this and Infinity War, it'll be somewhere in there, but I can't tell you.
How cool is
where
that?
is that? Yeah.
How awesome would it be to know a guy in Marvel?
That makes
was
me
weird.
hate Tony a little bit more.
I'm glad you said it because I wish he'd ram his head into a wall.
I can't stand that guy.
I thought that was going to be the most surprising Marvel news I got this week, and then I saw James Gunn is back, and I was like, huh, all right.
If I were James Gunn,
He was excited about that, huh?
if I was
Right?
if I was can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. If I was James Gunn, I'd have told Disney.
Are you sure you can hear John? Because
Actually.
something's happened.
Nobody heard that part because yeah.
Yeah, his wire just like all of a sudden.
How about that?
Let's put him on. How about that? Huh?
See, that's
Hold on. Try now.
test. Nope.
Did his wire just die?
This would be hilarious.
That's great.
This is great for podcasting. Huh?
See you later.
Here, John, try unplugging it from this end.
Yeah, so that's happening, huh?
Sounds like he's back.
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, if I was James Gunn, I would have told Disney to stick it. Just absolutely stick it.
Yeah.
It's like,
Do you not feel there was any merit, John?
I never did.
I never did, and
Yeah.
to me, it's just like, thank you, Lord Overseer, for letting me come back to your fold and do a movie with you.
Hey, John, serious note, if we were employed by Disney, making Disney money, we would not say thank you, Overlord, for letting us back.
Now they are.
That is beside the point, Sean.
But yeah, I'm happy he's back. I feel like he needed to finish that.
Two things are
I think
true
that-
at the same time.
I think that's why he came back too. It's like you have to think he came back primarily because he's like, look, I had a trilogy in mind and I wanted to finish it, and then this happened. So it's like he still has that idea in his mind.
I'm not mad at him for it, and I think the movie will be better for it. It's just that it comes a point where Disney and Google are taking over the freaking planet.
What about Amazon?
And they're just that too.
Yeah, really. What about Microsoft?
They're the holy trinity. Microsoft seems like it's kind of losing ground at this point. We might talk about that later.
Yeah, they're the lords of other things.
Then you're supposed to say the thing about you said Windows.
You told us Windows 98 would be faster. It is faster. Yeah. Sorry. But it was just funny to me because it was like all these details for Suicide Squad, which is being directed by James Gunn.
Still
like drop. They're like, we're doing a full relaunch. Idris Elba's taking over Deadshot.
Hey, dude, I love Margot Robbie.
And
hey guys,
I think they said she's coming back. She's like the one they may bring back.
If she doesn't come back as Harley Quinn,
well, the whole entire thing about Suicide Squad is it's always a different squad.
I don't care.
So,
Fun fact.
but like they dropped that, and then 2 days later, they're like, by the way, we're bringing him back. I was like, man, you all are cold-blooded, Marvel. They're the guy that breaks up with a girl, and then like they see the girl with the new guy, and they're like, man, F that guy. So then they get back with that girl, not because they want to be with her, but because they see who she's with now.
We don't want them, but we don't want you to have them.
But they say they did claim that this was like in the works for the last couple of months. Like that,
I'm sure that's true. I mean, lawyers have to talk and all that stuff. It's not an overnight
NDAs
thing.
And stuff.
Absolutely. See, Chris, NDA means
not basketball.
Nor.
But speaking of basketball, March Madness is here, Chris.
Yeah, I set up my bracket today.
It got busted today already?
No, I set it up.
I was like, buddy, it just started.
It is submitted in, and we'll see if I win.
When does the tournament actually start? Wednesday? The day this podcast drops?
Technically, it starts in about 2 hours.
So on yesterday, it started.
Yeah, last night. The playing games are tonight, and then the main games will start.
Who do you got winning it all? Just for
Duke
wits and shiggles.
It was really hard. I wanted to pick against, not pick Duke, because like in my mind.
But how do you pick against
them? Because
right?
I feel like everyone's going to pick Duke in my pool, right? So it just makes it harder to win. Because if I'm right, that means 9 other people are right. But in the end, you just look at it and you go like, how is it not Duke? You know, unless they just fall apart, unless Zion gets hurt,
or unless Auburn just continues to beat everybody. Did you see them? Did you see what they've done?
Yeah, they beat Tennessee after they were worn out against Kentucky.
They also beat Tennessee by 20 points earlier in the tournament.
No?
Or they beat them by 20 points.
In the regular season,
yeah. Destroy them, and then they play them again in the tournament.
Is this our first weekly college basketball chat?
But it's March Madness. It's
it.
never started during this.
I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining.
Let's do it, John.
I'm not complaining. It was just fun to note for the show.
It's fun to note.
It's fun to note.
It's fun to note, right?
Die.
It is like one of those things where I know. It's weird now that like March Madness literally starts like the last week of March now.
Yeah, it used to be Super Bowl Sunday was always like in January. Now it's basically in February.
Yeah,
that was a terrible analogy.
I remember it felt to me when I was really into college basketball, like back in the 90s and the early 2000s, like it would. Championship week was always the last week of February, and then the first weekend of March was always the kickoff for the tournament, and that's changed now. I don't know why. I don't know if they're just like spacing out games more, so it just takes them longer. But who knows? I'm sure people love to.
Well, Sean's having a conniption.
A conniption fit, if you will. What else? Yeah. What else did we do?
The only other thing, I mean, I celebrated my Irish heritage Saturday. Drank beer.
Oh, I didn't.
Oh. John, did you?
No.
I didn't even know it was happening.
Terrible.
What I did Sunday, Chris, was it Sunday, John? I think it was Sunday it was Sunday. I made it to the top of Death Mountain, Chris.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Breath of the Wild, finally. Many moons ago, John told me about this mystical elixir at the base of the mountain. I found it, Chris.
It definitely helps.
I found it.
It's kind of a vital part.
Then the
but you can also find ingredients.
Yeah, that you can make that
help
elixir.
You make it, okay.
But what I can't figure out, John, this is my next conundrum in Breath of the Wild.
Yes.
Is I need heart pieces to pull out the Master Sword.
Yes.
I don't know where to find heart pieces all of a sudden. I refused to really go hardcore to the internet.
Wasn't it?
You know how to find heart pieces.
Temples, right?
They were in some of the shrines had them.
Orbs give you access, and then
what do you do with the orbs?
You cash in your orbs at those
at that village,
at the statue at that village,
at the statue at the village. But there's also one.
John,
they're around the world.
I got like 28 orbs.
Dude, you should go turn those in.
Turn them in. Get you some heart pieces.
Get you some stamina.
And you can pull the sword out.
Dude,
I think the sword level is 13 sword.
Yeah, 12 or 13.
13 hearts.
Something like
that. Guys, it's 13. I was just there.
But you also want to show some love to your
stamina?
Your stamina, for sure.
It helps.
Sorry, I keep slapping the table.
Hey, you beat that game.
I did.
Did you beat that game?
Yeah.
At one point, you didn't beat that game, like me. And then because that's when your Switch broke.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it completely
That was a long time ago. Yeah. For you listeners that remember that, huh?
It completely derailed my experience.
Derailment.
Good times.
But I've played the Master Sword trials and
you got the DLC?
Yeah.
You're back on.
You do enough things, you can get the Master Cycle, and the Master Cycle is legit.
Speaking
really
of things
cool.
because of you, right? Hey, you got me back on the Zelda, the right path at least. My little brother is playing Far Cry New Dawn because of me sitting here listening to you give that excellent review.
Oh, thank you, sir.
For some
And
reason,
tell him.
in my
I hope
mind,
he enjoys it.
I heard him, and I thought I was going to say My Little Pony. The
game really does a lot more for Far Cry than people give it credit. It just those tiers for enemies and outposts and going back and then being harder and getting more loot for it. It's just really, I liked that aspect. I hope they keep it.
Oh, I do have a poop game. I can certified now.
Certified poop game?
Yeah,
we need a
on Switch.
What's it called when a sweeper to come in?
Yeah.
For when we have a certified poop game alert. Certified poop game. Dun, dun, dun.
Or just have the sound of a toilet flushing.
Oh.
You know?
I think I at one point had a sound effect for it. But
You did.
Hey,
Yeah.
we should.
Hold on.
You could, because we could add it in live, right?
Do it live?
There would never even need to be any kind of like post production on this piece, right?
Yeah, I do
This
have
poop
I
game
do
brought
have
to
poop
you
games.
by Charmin.
If I could bring it in, I would, but I don't think I can. Let me see.
That's terrible.
I don't know what's going to happen when I do this. Let's see what happens.
All right, so in a minute. Oh my goodness!
So once again,
You put it. We gotta just fill this in because it's way over here.
I know.
So before happens, you got to say it's time for our poop game.
Ready, Chris? How many?
Well, you know what it is? It's
you're about to pop too early, Chris.
it's time for our poop game.
It's time now for poop games. We talk about poop games. I forgot about this. This is awesome. Play while you poop.
They're gonna hear this, right?
Talk about poop games.
Yeah, I'll leave that in there. I forgot.
That sounds like that came directly, the last part, from your iPhone, Chris.
And
Right.
that'll sound crystal on the podcast.
Unlike your
yeah.
voice, which has now gone away again.
Has it gone away?
We might need to pause this and pick back up, Chris.
Might just
Should I
that
grab another mic or something?
we'll grab that cord right there, and we'll here you're unplugged or you're muted right now, John. So no, you're not. We'll just talk about.
I don't hear me now.
Oh, that might just be this. Keep talking.
Hey, no. Am I still going? Look, because I'm not coming up. When John's messing me up. What's happening right now?
I did that to you. My bad.
Scared.
You turned me down too?
I did.
You mother.
I muted the wrong thing.
You did it, I think, twice. You did that.
Yeah, I might have. And
Or
you
as
know
some
what?
old people say,
Now I'm
twice.
getting- Oh, there it goes. Well,
Let's see what John does. John, don't plug it into one. Take out two,
yeah,
because that's you, John.
that's you.
This is so funny to watch John do audio work. Now the whole board's gone.
That's funny.
We're dead.
No.
Are we
No, you unplugged the wrong one. Replug in Sean.
Oh my God.
This is the greatest
You told
thing.
me to do two.
This is
Yeah.
the worst.
Here, first off, plug that in.
John, I did tell you.
Plug that into there.
Where's me? Where's me?
There you are.
Where's me, dude?
It's getting dark.
Oh, is this me? Now I'm not too normally.
Can we good?
This is fantastic.
Now we're back.
Approaching their 200th episode.
Right.
3 morons still don't know how to run a soundboard.
So a couple of minutes ago, we had Poop Games intro. So
what's the poop game?
Hold up.
Poop Game is Ape Out on Switch. That game is amazing and it's perfect. I played it. I did not play it while I was pooping. I played it while I was. My parents drove to Atlanta.
It doesn't count unless you're pooping.
Well, it definitely could be played while you're pooping. It'd be perfect for a poop.
I could pinch one right now. You want me to go try it? I still can't hear myself.
Well, that
Are you
doesn't
talking?
matter. I can hear you.
Hold up.
All right.
Talk,
I got
John.
you.
Don't say nothing, Chris. Talk.
Testing 1, 2. Can you hear me?
He's super low.
Yeah. A little bit.
Try again.
How about that? I still
No.
can't. I can't do it.
Try now.
How's this?
Wow.
No, it doesn't sound. No.
It's like
It might be the mic.
It may be. Yeah, go switch to the air mic, John.
Do you have a show interlude loop we can run right now while John fixes his whatchamacallits?
No, but I can just talk about this while he does that.
I don't quit
sorry.
turning me down.
I just want to turn you down.
Mother-
This has been the greatest thing ever.
For who, Chris?
But anyways, yeah, it's this game where basically it's the most simple concept. You're an ape, right? You're in a lab, an armed lab, and you break out.
He's making fun of me.
You break out, right? And you just start killing anyone that gets in your way. You just beat them down. But it's fun because like there's this cool jazz like
overture?
Like overture, yeah, and it's always going do 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 do. And then when you finally hit someone, it'll be like bah, do a cymbal smash or something like that. And it consistently is like changing colors and all these other things. It's a fun like game that you could play for about 2 or 3 minutes if you want to do a level and then move on. But it's fun because you have to consistently change how you're approaching things. Like the game is consistently evolving and all that. Like, so first it's just hitting people. Then you can start grabbing guards and walking around them, use them as like a human shield. And then you'll have like new enemies that have bombs on them. So you have to be careful where you throw to kill them, because if you're too close, you'll blow up yourself. And then like all of a sudden the lights will go out and then there'll be like an alarm thing. Whenever you get shot, right, for the first time, you'll start to see a blood trail pattern wherever you're going. And once that starts happening, then all the guards know where you're heading to. So they'll start following you. You have to consistently like make loops and try to lose them before you get through or before you try to confront them. Otherwise they'll just shoot you in the face and kill you.
Do you realize what you've done?
What?
So,
You've basically called every Switch game a poop game.
No.
Yes.
What also happened is instead of buying like the Captain Toad Treasure Tracker DLC, which is amazing,
Yes.
he bought this game.
Can you
Well,
hear
I
me
don't
now?
have the, yeah, I can hear you.
I can't. Can you?
Yeah.
I'm scared.
Talk. Watch the lines, John. Talk.
Am I peaking?
No, you're very low.
Try now.
How about now? Ooh, that's nice.
Ooh.
Keep it.
You have a soft voice, buddy.
Yeah.
I think
Chris, why are you so hot and I'm not?
that's not me.
No, watch. Oh, okay. I'm as hot as you now.
Yeah.
You just talk like this a lot.
Yeah.
Now I just got to turn John down.
It's like
Don't turn me down.
It's like we've never ever
done this show.
This is new.
talked on microphones
This
before.
has never happened before.
Oh my god.
This
okay.
microphone is.
Is that your normal microphone?
No, it's not me, man.
I was hoping we would get to the topic faster this week, but then like everything's derailing.
Why would you want to go faster?
I don't know, because we got like a message on the Twitter where the guy was like,
That guy'll be fine.
I'm worried.
No, he just. It's not that the content isn't good. And I'll read the message when we get there. But the basis of it was we don't spend enough time on the game, which that's basically your fault. I'm looking at Chris.
FM.
John laughs.
And FU.
Well, it's fine. This is our
Anyway.
intro, which is usually about 20
I'm about to talk about this game for 5 minutes and then we're going into
I
the
think-
news.
I don't
think
know
you
that we
should.
don't spend enough time on games. If
John, that'll be in the Twitter segment.
yeah, man, you got it.
When we have a huge announcement to make as
Oh,
well.
fine.
Oh, okay.
Ooh,
Huge.
Well, let's get to the topic then.
what a trash heap this is.
This is
much.
a dumpster fire.
197 and it's falling apart fast. Or is it 196? It's one of them too.
we
See,
don't-
that's how great it
Yeah,
is.
dude, we gotta tighten up.
All right, let's go to the topic.
Topic time.
One. See, I'm just letting it play in the background.
What are you doing?
They can't hear it.
But are you doing it on purpose?
Yeah, why not?
You've gotten this lazy, huh?
Yeah. 197, man.
It's one button. All you gotta do is one button to play only there.
Do they realize 200's the final one yet? Because this should be a warning
We're just
sign.
getting going, buddy.
Hey,
We're just getting going.
before you hit the topic, have you ever had a Roomba
Have I?
run over a pile of cat crap?
No.
I don't recommend it.
Okay. Fair
Hey,
enough.
Speaking of cat crap, the
But
topic.
Hold up, but before you do topic, you said cat crap, and it made me think of a word I learned today about what fishermen do before they fish on the docks. It's called dock talk.
I have more questions. I have questions.
Topic time, Chris.
The topic is
Doc talk.
Devil May Cry 5.
Yeah, dude, so excited that you're playing this game.
Yeah, I was wondering if I was going to get it. I kind of held back but then I saw the reviews. I was like, okay.
Seems
And
amazing,
then, and then I just kind of looked at the schedule. I was like, why am I
the
not
what?
getting this?
You looked at the what?
Schedule.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So
Good call.
I went ahead and picked it up. I did not play Devil May Cry 4. I played the first 3. And to be fair, this game gives you a brief history. So all the stuff I missed with Nero in the last game, I pretty much got caught up on. And the rest of it, I'm like, I just know it's Dante and Virgil. It's always Dante and Virgil they're talking about, and Mundus and all that stuff, right?
So it's not hard to catch up like Kingdom Hearts.
No, yeah, that was the funny thing. I was thinking about this. Like, so Devil May Cry came out, I think, in 2003, and I believe Kingdom Hearts was 2002. It's like one way or the other. One was like they were in a year apart. And as I've been playing this, it's been amazing to me to see, like, almost 20 years later now, right? How much one has been able to be true to its values, but also evolve and do things better. While I thought the other one kind of just stayed very stagnant and just said either you're a hardcore fan of this or you're not. That was really pleasing to me. I tried to play that Devil May Cry remake they did a couple of years ago. I didn't like it.
That's kind of, I was about to lead in with that. I was puzzled when this game was announced last year in the sequence that it was Devil May Cry 5, because I thought that they had fundamentally rebooted the series, and for all intents and purposes that reboot was pretty well received.
Yeah,
it was pretty successful monetarily.
As
people seemed to like it, but apparently there was a division that I wasn't really aware of, and people were like, no, we want you to go back to this older series.
It was the main guy, the main director didn't work on that one.
Right.
So
it was actually
Team Ninja did that one, right?
Oh, no,
Tim
Ninja Theory.
Ninja Theory, that's who it is, right?
Tim Ninja.
He tried to name drop it.
Yeah, as soon as I started it, like I played maybe the first 3 missions and it just never once clicked for me, that remaster. I was like, this, or remake, whatever it was. And I was like, and I never played 4 just because I was looking, I was like, why didn't I play 4? And I went back and I was like, oh, it came out like a week after Burnout Paradise came out. And John, you know, I love that game.
You do.
That is a game near and dear to my heart.
It is.
Because I can listen to Guns N' Roses. It's like the only, soundtrack game or song in that game. But yeah, this is Devil May Cry. Technically, it takes place after the events of 4, but much like a lot of the other Devil May Cries, I don't think you need to know too much, to get in there, because each story is kind of contained, and there's like a mystery going on in this one, mainly with this new character V who shows up. He showed up and like, you're like, who the heck is this guy? And a lot of the game is kind of consistently trying to elude you, like who is he? Why did he recruit Dante and company? But they're going off to again fight a major demon that is threatening the world called, it's something weird. It's like Urizen or something like that. But the game starts out and
that's actually correct, Chris.
Yeah. Oh, is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Spelled Urizen.
Oh,
yeah.
Fact check, Haywood.
Yeah, just I can do.
But
new thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
The game starts out and they go to fight this guy, and let's just say it does not go very well for anyone. Like Nero gets his arm chopped off, and I think it's kind of one of the main gameplay parts, so I wouldn't call it a spoiler. V is like kind of just trying to hang in there, and Dante basically has to sacrifice himself and go like full demon mode and all that kind of stuff just to let everyone get the hell out of Dodge alive, right? So then you flash forward a month later, Dante's gone, and if you're Nero, you're like, I've got to fight this, and the idea is that Nero, through his side chick, I can't remember.
Did you say side chick?
Yeah, she's a side chick.
All right, just making sure I heard you.
She,
this is going bad.
I can't remember her name, but she's like kind of this country
gameplay fundamentals.
She's like this country western girl, and she basically builds all. She's
Donatella.
Well, yeah, she's like, so for those who have never played the games, Devil May Cry usually alludes to there being a store called Devil May Cry, right? Like that's
a thing.
Yeah, like
Isn't
the
her
original
name,
game. Like,
hey, is her name Lady or Trish?
those are the two from the originals.
Okay.
No, it's the other one. She's new. I had never seen her before.
Oh, no.
Right?
I gotta find the side chick.
Right? Trish and Lady are in the game for those who played the original, but they kind of have minor roles, I would say, is the best way to say it. But no, yes, the original game, like the idea is that Dante runs a business called Devil May Cry because
dope.
Trish like proves that she's not a demon because she cries at the end of the game or whatever, thus showing
Demons
she's a
don't
human.
cry, John.
Yeah. Demons do not
I
cry.
know that,
Fun fact, John.
but
So afterwards, they opened up a store that was called Devil May Cry. This kind of picks up like where this chick has a van that says Devil May Cry on here, and basically that's what she does. She runs a shop where she makes a bunch of customizables and upgradables for your character, mainly Nero. And the big thing is because he's lost his arm, she makes a bunch of prosthetic metal arms that each have their own distinct capabilities, and they are so awesome. Like there is one that slows down time. There's one that basically called Tomboy that like pretty much transforms in a way your own devil trigger mode, and just like Nero gets super powered and starts wrecking everyone. And you can load up a whole entire magazine of these custom arms. There's I want to say at this point I've seen 10. And there's a bunch of unique ones you can get if you get the deluxe edition. Like there's one that's a Mega Man blaster and things like that. But like you basically get to switch these out as you want, like because they all have a finishing move, and when you do those, they blow up.
are you saying that this guy is roughly your main character for the game?
For the first third. Yeah.
Is he on? Is this him on the cover art? That's him on the cover art, right? In
That
the middle.
Nero, yeah, that's him in the middle.
Yeah, and he's in the middle of the cover art too, so that should
Yeah.
give you a key that he's kind of a big to do.
Yeah. I mean, they're all equally in there.
So who do you play as throughout the game?
You play as the three of them. So throughout the game, you're going to play as V, you're going to play as Dante, and you're going to play as Nero. Nero and Dante you've played as before if you've played 4.
Hey, John, fun fact: 5 is the sequel to 4.
Whoa.
It comes after 4. I don't know if you know that.
And if you could indulge me for just a second, for those who have been living under a rock and don't know what Devil May Cry is, what kind of genre is this?
Oh, it's a hack and slash.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, John.
And I mean, it for the most part, it does still pull from that classic vibe of what people want out of Devil May Cry. Like the enemies in this game, they're not the most difficult. I mean, some of the boss fights I've died on, but it's not that big of a deal when you die because there's certain gold orbs that you can get through the game where when you use one, you come back to life at full power and that enemy is still taking the damage they have. So, like I've never felt like I've yet to have a boss I haven't defeated, right? Like on the first try. It's just,
Even that last one that we watched.
yeah, like, cause even though I died right there, it's like I just used one of my gold orbs and I came back at full strength
you died.
and finished him. Yeah, but it's not really like you don't have to restart.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Calm down, buddy.
But it's not so much about the difficulty as it's about style. That's what it's about. And each 3 of these each have their unique styles to them. They have certain things in common. Like you always have an attack button and you always have kind of like I would say projectile button. There's usually some sort of power up that you can do to them to eventually do insane amount of damages. As I said, like Nero has these arms that each have their own special abilities and can do finishers. V has, who's the newest one, right?
He's kind of the emo guy.
Yeah, he's the emo guy. He's like, hey, I speak in poetry and I do things. He doesn't actually himself do damage, but what he does is he summons a panther, a bird who's like a smart aleck, which actually helps to offset his really emo tones because he's just always wisecracking and being a jerk.
So he's a playable character that doesn't do any damage?
He doesn't. No, what he does instead is he summons demons.
So he's like a wizard type kind of character.
He's got a panther, he's got a bird, and then his big one for his devil trigger is this huge like Goliath creature that just comes down and wrecks everything in front of you. He's like the win button. You're like, okay, I've been building this up and win. And you just call him in and you stand back and watch your and start comboing everything. But you have to like, the thing about him is that while he doesn't do any of the direct damage, he actually has to be the one to kill whatever creature there is. So you're like kind of waiting till their health depletes, and then you kind of go in and he takes this cane and goes like,
got it.
And that's how you do it. And then of course Dante for the most part just plays like Dante. Like he's got a lot of cool styles, and they're consistently just giving him new kind of gadgets to use throughout. Like I think if you've played any of the first 3, or I would probably be willing to venture the first 4 Devil May Cries, you're going to feel the most home right away with Dante. He's still got ebony and ivory. He's still got shotguns. They actually bring back a hat in this one, the cowboy hat, which was big before as far as jokes. And there's a little bit of, I was like, ooh, this is awkward, because when he gets the hat, he does a Michael Jackson dance. I was like, man, you did not time. Yeah, you did not time the release of this game down. But like, it's just, the best way to describe it is that it's fun because their combo system, while it seems very large and convoluted at first, you start to notice between the 3, regardless of the fact they have different styles, they control the same move sets, which feel almost like arcade inputs, like classic, like, Street Fighter inputs, right? Left to back, and then, hold down this trigger and left to back and hit X. And that's one type of attack. And you slowly start to figure out. You
just have to memorize the combos kind of along the way.
Correct. And then the other big thing is you start to realize how much you get advantages by consistently switching out weapons and styles, like not just being repetitive. Like the game encourages you to learn everything and to use your full arsenal. And as you start to do this, all of a sudden, classic Devil May Cry, you start to see D, and all of a sudden a C ranking, and then a B ranking. Eventually you get up to S, and then the highest being triple S. So, which is strong, sexy, and something else I can't remember.
So the ranking system, it's almost like like a typical slasher will, at the end of a level, will kind of grade you on your performance based on the variability of your combo executions.
Correct. And like it consistently, you're seeing what you're doing while you're there. And of course, getting hit is not a good thing for your rating style. But, I'll go through the whole entire level. The highest I've gotten in a level now is I did get 1 double S rating, but most of the time I get an A or an S. And John saw me early on when I was still trying to figure this out, and I was not getting that high of scores because it had been a while. But like once you start to get it, you just, regardless of who you're playing, each one feels unique enough that you don't feel like you're just playing with a different skin on them. Like with V, you have to be a lot more aware of your surroundings, because, you don't want him too close to any combat, versus when you play Nero, you're consistently trying to step back and charge up your sword, because that's how you can do a mass amount of damage on one hit. And like you can take out 1/4 of a bar on some of these enemies if you time it right and you've powered it up enough. And you're also trying to combo with your abilities of your arm and do unique things. And like the cool thing later on, Nero with his arm too, he can also kind of use it as a whip and latch an enemy and just pull them up close and up in the air. So like,
get over here.
I would do these insane combos where I would just keep staying in the air, keep pulling up other enemies to like, just combo the hell out of. And then once I slam that guy on the ground, then pull the next guy up and start comboing him. And all of a sudden you just see that rating go up. You just feel so BA every single time you do that. Right.
When you say doing these combos, do you mean you watch them on YouTube?
No. I mean, I do them.
Do you mean you put them on easy mode?
No. There's only two difficulties starting out. There's human and there's devil, and they pretty much suggest like, unless you're a small kid, just go ahead and do devil. Yeah. And I think like as far as replayability, from what I've gathered, once you beat the game, that's what unlocks the harder modes, and you can keep going back and redoing these missions on harder difficulty to keep getting your ratings higher and higher, because obviously the harder the difficulty, the more of a bonus you get for execution and doing well in those games. Then on top of that, there's secret missions in every level that you can find that are kind of just like challenges, I would say, like where you can, there'll be one like, hey, stay off the ground for 15 seconds during this whole entire thing. And you'll have to make sure you're chaining, combat moves so that you don't hit the ground for that time period or whatever, or kill these amounts of demons in this amount of time, right? Do this, earn this triple S ranking in this amount of time. But it's just, it's really, really, really fun. I have to say it surprised me how much going back to something that obviously, as I said before, did not train its laurels, but feels like it's evolved into something that feels fresh and feels unique for right now. Like, I don't think there's been a game like this year. I don't think there'll be another game like this year.
What's the closest thing that's like it
This year?
or in general, other than another Devil May Cry? Because I will probably know
Another
you.
Devil May Cry.
Bayonetta,
Yeah, Bayonetta.
Ninja
Bayonetta.
Gaiden, stuff
Yeah.
like that. To some degree, God of War.
I was talking to Chris.
I was going to say, yeah, Bayonetta is definitely, because it's the same, the creator of Bayonetta is the same guy who did this. So, you know.
Is it really?
Yeah.
That's a fun fact alert. John, I only said that because that's something you'd say to me as a joke, and I love you.
I love you too.
Okay.
And I'm not offended.
Okay.
Jerkwad.
But yeah, you know, it's about that high octane. And I think the only knocks I can really put on it are the exploration a little bit, because it's not an open world, right? So instead you have these, you know, it's classic going down a corridor type thing, right? You know, consistently going around trying to get to the next group of enemies. But kind of like classic Devil May Cry, you know that there are purple and blue orbs in the world that will raise your Devil Trigger rating or your health and all that kind of stuff. So you need to find these things. And to do so, you just consistently are going like, is that a place I can hop up onto? And going like, no, that's just a barrier. That's not actually somewhere I can go. So you have a lot of awkward moments of jumping around, you know, just trying to figure out what is actually a place that's accessible versus a place that it's just art, you know, it's just a wall. So that doesn't feel right. And the only other thing I can really knock on the game, is, yeah, there's some like really hyper sexualized moments that, I mean, I don't mind sex in games. I don't mind romance in games. I mean, very clear. I love Mass Effect, right? Mm-hmm. But it's like there are parts in this where it's just eye candy for the sake of eye candy. And I'm just like, okay, I don't need this in a game because it doesn't do anything. You know, I'm just like, okay, wow, cool. You made a beautiful model and you took her clothes off. Great. Moving on. You know, that's just me though. That's
Wait,
personal.
you don't kind of touch your Richard when you see that stuff?
Not to, you know, there's
neither.
real women.
me neither, Chris.
I mean, if that's your fancy, that's your fancy. I think it's more of a cultural thing than anything
I'm
over
kidding,
there.
dude. I've said a joke many times about when I was a teenager, and I shouldn't say this now, so we're going to stop and just let you keep talking.
No. Keep going.
Nothing, man.
Let me call Bobby real quick. Put her on speaker.
John,
I saw you. Yeah.
do you remember a God of War game where
Called God of War.
where Kratos walked into like this chamber?
Yep.
Yeah,
It was a mini game.
that's the things I talked about.
Yeah.
Hey, Richard, don't do anything now. Let's just keep playing the game.
Yeah.
They can be. Chris doesn't like that stuff in games. I do.
I kind of look when I was
say-
13, I liked it, but at this point, I'm just
still
like
basically a 13-year-old Chris trapped in an old man's body.
You know,
For being honest.
it's just I don't look all critique of games from combat to anything. It's all on the table. It's all subjective.
Yeah, it is right. Yeah,
But to me, it's a developer's right to
Sure,
do it
sure,
and
I
put it
agree.
in there, and it's not necessarily, you know, not that you're doing this, but sometimes I think we just we say that we don't like it, but when it's dark and we're playing the game, we're like, oh,
this is
awesome.
good. This is good.
You know?
No, I
not,
don't feel
not,
that way.
Not
Yeah.
you. I'm not saying
Not you in general, Chris.
Yeah, I agree
But,
I agree with you on their right to do it.
Yeah.
And I kind of view it on the other way. It's like, look, they have the right to do it, and I have the right to criticize them for doing it. Right. So
Sure, yeah.
you know, if that's his vision, then yeah, go right ahead. I'm just like, whenever they do this kind of stuff in games now, like even now when you see Dead or Alive at this point, you're just like, okay, come on guys, you can do better than this.
Well, sometimes because of the nature of what the three of us do for a living, sometimes we get to interact with people who are from Japan.
Yeah.
I was at lunch with a group of people from Japan, and there was actually a lady there.
That's not how you say that word, by the way.
Yeah, you said it wrong twice now.
Yeah. Japan.
Oh, sorry about that.
How about you just point to him
And so
when
I
it's time to say it, and he'll say it.
trying to talk about something really relevant.
Okay.
Seriously.
Wait, let me pump the brakes.
So I asked this lady who's from Japan, I was like, what do you think about the cultural difference, the significant gender differences in Japanese culture? And she said something that was very relevant to me. She goes, this is not a shot at America, but America tries often to subject its virtue onto other cultures. Like we are Americans and we are the purest form of what is known and good. And you all should want to be offended by this. You all should be offended by this. You all should have the standards that we hold up to ourselves. Therefore, you should bear them out. She said, our culture is our culture, and women aren't miserable there.
Yeah.
We have to get past this thing where we think that we're doing, it's almost like we're trying to tell certain people this is wrong and you should be offended even if you aren't, or you should want this even if you don't. But that's just me. And when Dead or Alive beach volleyball comes out, I'm going to buy it.
That's a lie. He's never going to buy that.
I'm never going to buy it. Yeah. But I have a question about, I saw you making some purchases in the game. What's the in-game currency?
It's like red orbs. Yeah, they're like $1.99.
That was the controversy at first when those were announced.
Oh, yeah.
Do you buy those, or do they come off like souls?
No.
To be fair, the 2 times I did it, I was drunk. And I didn't realize I was doing it.
Well, you just did it when I was...
No.
You were buying things.
Oh, you're talking about in the game.
I can't afford this right now. That's too rich for
you're
me.
talking about that. Yeah, no. Like, I had a
serious,
moment.
Chris?
I did have a moment like
You all
when
right, buddy?
I was drunk on Saturday night.
Yeah.
And I accidentally thought I had enough to buy something, and it took me to the store, and I just kept clicking to get out.
You just bought stuff.
Yeah, but it's like $1.99.
Okay.
Yeah, there was something about the red orbs that people weren't happy about because it could help you be better in the game. So
Yes,
you're buying yourself
it could.
stuff to be better.
Correct. I would say this. Yeah, the way it works as far as upgrades is, I mean, and this is the way it's always been for, for Devil May Cry. The red orbs are used for upgrades, like primarily as far as your combat and combos and all those kinds of things. So you're consistently earning a pretty good clip every single round. All right. The other thing that happens is that you eventually get to a point where, you also find yellow orbs, as I've said before. And whenever you die, you have to either spend a yellow orb or red orbs to resurrect yourself, or else you have to restart the whole entire level over again. So what you're consistently doing is making sure that you are spending the upgrade to get better combos, because you can get a better score, obviously, with more tools at your disposal. But at the same time, you're wanting to make sure you save enough so that if something goes bad and you need those red orbs, you have them for later on, right? So that's why when you saw me earlier, I had like about 50,000 left. I started John Saw, like I went from 100,000 to 50,000 real quick.
Yeah.
So like I just got a new weapon, so I upgraded that, and then I was like, once I got down to 50, I could have bought some more, but I didn't, because I was like, I want, especially because the cowboy hat in the game, if you use that, it uses those red orbs.
Please tell me it's a weapon. Please tell me it's a weapon. Please tell me it's a weapon.
It channels your red orbs and it launches them as projectiles, so you're using up your balance. But as long as you don't get hit and then you close out the loop of using them, you get a significant amount back if you recover them.
Right.
So it's a risk reward system. It's really cool. And that's what I like about this game, is that each weapon doesn't just feel like it's a different skin of something. It feels unique to what you're trying to do. Like Dante has these bracers for up close combat. So he's doing punches and kicks, and you kind of understand, I need to get in close to do these things. Whereas the sword, yeah, you can get in close with it, obviously, and do a ton of damage, but you also have that advantage to kind of attack from afar. Sorry.
It's all good, man. just don't die.
Why were you late?
Because we got to get your Richards first, and that's not ready yet.
Right. And then like with the guns, like you have a shotgun, which is obviously perfect for up close. And then you have your 2 pistols, which is great when you're trying to dance around the air and be a little bit further back. Eventually Dante gets a rocket launcher.
That's awesome.
But the champ of this, as far as all abilities, is eventually you get a motorcycle that you can rip in half.
I'm in.
And just start messing people up. So you'll be like, I'll hit Sean, be like, and then it'll come across the other side,
like a table saw.
And then you hit B.
Chainsaw fight.
Then you hit B.
I can't wait.
Then, like, if you time it right, you can hit B. And he hops on the motorcycle and he just starts doing circles around. And people start coming in close. He just starts grinding that back tire across all their faces.
I'm in.
And then if you time it right again, you jump up and you go up high, and then you just start again switching to a different weapon. You pull someone in close and you just start beating the hell out of them. And then you activate your devil trigger, and that's freaking game over right there.
Please tell me somebody in the game at some point says, go to hell.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They have to, John.
I'll see you in hell.
It's just, he's definitely,
You belong in hell.
of the 3, Dante's definitely the one I think most people will enjoy the most, especially if they're a traditional player of the game. And you have to wait the longest to use them, but once they start putting him in the game, they put him in for a pretty significant chunk.
Well, what do you think about that type of choice? You know, a lot of games, I can't think of anything right now, but a lot of games fragment their characters. You'll use this character for this and this for this. And how do you feel about that? As far as, did it balance well? Did it flow properly?
Yeah,
Sometimes you can do it wrong and really wrong.
I think all of them work fine, and they feel unique enough that you don't feel like I said, that you're just playing with a different skin. You definitely, of course, are going to feel the most BA with Dante because he is the most powerful of everyone in that group, right? On the other hand, it's interesting to play with someone like V, who at first I was like, this is weird, but once I figured it out, he's probably the one I found to get the highest scores consistently because it's so easy to dodge things as far as attacks. As long as you are aware of your surroundings, you feel like you have a good grasp of what's going on. And, you know, versus like when you're playing as Nero to me was the hardest one to consistently get high scores because there are so many little things you kind of have to balance very quickly back and forth, to get the most effect out of him. So, you know, but the thing is as I kept going with Nero, even though I sucked with him starting out, I felt more attached because it taught me the combat mechanics very well, so that by the time when Dante showed up, I was like, okay, now I don't have to worry about these little things I have been with Nero, and I have all these new toys to play with, and I just came in and started wrecking shop with him.
So you never get a choice as to which character to use?
There are a couple of levels where you can pick who you want.
Okay.
Like there's parts where there's divergent paths, and it's like, okay, who do you want to go as first? And then you see the other paths of the other people afterwards. But it's fun. Solid platforming throughout. Solid enemy design. There's just like consistently rotating different things. Like every time you're thinking like, is it just going to be another demon? You're like, no. Here's a 3-headed dog. Good luck.
Sean, that's called a Cerberus.
Yes. Cerberus.
I actually didn't know that.
Yeah.
You must have. You read.
I just call them 3-headed dogs.
I call them naughty dogs.
You must have. You read Harry Potter. You named
But yeah, I've enjoyed this. Like, it's been a game that I haven't just sat down and powered through. It's been more of like, I do a level or two and then I go do something else and I come back and I do another level or two. And I've enjoyed it like consistently.
I didn't realize you had it on Xbox. I probably should have, but I knew you were playing this game, you know, and also Division dropped, you know, and we wanted to I like that.
Right.
And we were trying to balance both, but, I'm very happy you played this game.
No, and
I really want to play this game.
Yeah, you should get it.
I respect the time you put into it because you're practically almost done.
Yeah, I'm
and with
close to the end.
With this other game that has recently dropped, I appreciate the commitment to it even more because you're like,
I feel so bad for that game because Friday's going to come and I got a bad feeling for that game.
What game?
For Division, as far as my attention, unless my friends are online.
Yeah.
Hey guys, what comes out Friday?
Sekiro.
Yeah, Sekiro comes.
Boo. Ghost of Tsushima's gonna be better.
Maybe.
One's a samurai game, one's a shinobi game. It's okay.
Ghost of Tsushima is going to be better. I just like saying Ghost of Tsushima.
One of them is actually going to come out this generation.
Yeah. Well, when Last of Us 2 and Ghost of Tsushima comes out, PlayStation's going to rule, man.
You know what I say to Ghost of Tsushima?
You didn't say it right.
Boo.
You didn't say it right, John.
Ghost of Tsushima? West side.
But Richard-wise, I feel I've gone back and forth in this. I'm going to say a 9 for now. 9! Yeah, I could go to 9.5 depending on how it ends here.
Very good.
Yeah.
And that's consistent with the scores you see. I'm not saying that you don't do that. I know you don't. But this game is getting crazy praise everywhere.
Oh,
Capcom has been knocking it out of the park since the beginning of 2018.
yeah, the game looks beautiful too on the RE engine, I have to say. Like, I was like, I thought Resident Evil 2 looked pretty good, but I was like, this looks freaking 10 times better.
I even include Mega Man 11 in that.
Oh.
As expected, the Devil May Cry Twitter feed is getting crunk. If you're in the Boston area, next week, something
what are you doing?
They call the. I'm tying this in before he gives his Richard.
Oh, for PAX?
Yeah,
Already gave his Richard.
The Devil. Oh yeah, I'm tying all this in, John, because it's cool. The Devil Awakens, because in the game, one of the big things is the rock music kind of stuff that's in the game.
Yeah, the music in this game is great.
It's dope.
By
right?
the way, like
You already gave your score. You can talk about
shut up.
else.
It's my turn. I'm kidding. Go
That's
ahead, Chris.
great. The art, I did forget almost. One of the art things, like when I'm thinking about comparing this to Kingdom Hearts, as far as just two things from my past that have now come back this year. That I thought about, like, I couldn't customize any controls at all. Mm-hmm. I could customize everything on this, which was great because their default controls I did not like.
Yeah.
And once I saw, I was like, oh, I can make this the attack button, and this is how I'm going to switch certain things. I was like, okay, this is great. About the only thing that was sucked was that you couldn't make it so that a lot of the stuff is done combo wise with the joysticks, right? Mm-hmm. And you can't make those so that they just are always in one default direction as far as input, which is something I'm used to doing in NBA 2K. That's how I do all my combinations, is that like down is always down to do a certain dribble move versus
Trouble.
Versus if I'm like facing the basket this week, then down has to be to my lower left or something like this or whatever.
Double dribble.
That's what I did that for. Yeah.
But yeah, the music in the game, top notch.
Top-notch.
Andrew asked, will there be a track on this?
And yes.
And I said, yes, there will definitely be a track on the music episode this year.
If you like that kind of stuff, in Boston next week, there's going to be a live concert with a rock band performing all the tracks from the DMC series in general. And there'll be a giant screen with synced game footage, and you can get tickets, obviously, if you're in that area, which Andrew is. That's pretty cool. You know how to bring up the music stuff. Another thing, John, look at that. The Devil May Cry. Their Twitter feed is giving a shout out to a place called neoncreations.co.uk. I guess that's British. But check out, you can buy the custom neons.
Nice.
If you've ever played the Devil May Cry game, that's dope, right? Yeah. So think of when you see Devil May Cry written in the game over like Dante's shop,
and it does have it on the side of the van of this girl.
Yeah, you can buy that as a neon for your house. That's dope. Good job though, Chris. I can't wait to play it, man.
Speaking of Boston, because I don't think John put it on the news. Did you see the teaser that was out there for Boston as far as PAX that came out on Twitters this week? Borderlands 3 had a very hard teaser for PAX announcement.
Yeah, I left that off because it was a teaser and not a full announcement, so I kind of just...
We'll just say it right now.
Yeah.
It's looking like Borderlands 3 is coming.
Yeah. But we've heard about that for 2 years.
They've said they're working on it. We just don't know when.
We need to play Borderlands VR together, John.
Do we?
No.
Yeah, I've heard so on that VR.
It's trash.
It's trash.
You guys want to do some news?
Okay.
Yeah. We
sounds
enjoy
good.
it. Yeah.
You good?
Yeah.
I'm good.
Okay.
You good?
I wonder if it's going to be hot off the press.
Hot off the presses and straight to your ears.
You can't talk good today.
I'm right. I know. I'm stupid.
Yeah. Well.
Tough day.
Yeah.
It's been a day.
Been a day.
It doesn't work, guys.
Let's go.
Had a bad day again.
Had a bad day.
Hot off the press and straight to your ears. Weekly Games Chat presents
The news.
News. We're getting really good at that, guys.
It took 200 episodes.
That's 2 weeks in a row. We just nailed it. I can't read that.
Hold on. Okay. Why can't you read that?
I don't know.
You want me to do it?
I mean, I can read it.
I can roll with it.
Why do you hate him so much? You loved him.
Who's going first? Who went first last week?
I don't know. I can't ever.
That's the shtick. It
Is
doesn't.
a shtick?
It doesn't. We just kind of look and go. You read that one. I'll read this one. Okay, go.
It's like we're two little toddler brothers going, y'all take turns.
Two things.
I really just think I should do the news from now on. I write it. I should read it.
I don't like that you just did
See
that
how
at
he's
all.
trying to force you out?
Yeah.
He's just trying to force you out.
It's my power play.
Terrible, dude.
It's all right. You still got the Twitter feed.
No, we're doing news together.
All right.
Show your face. It's fun to me.
All right. Well, speaking of shutting my face,
Yeah, you go first. Go first.
Halo Reach comes to. I walked into that one. I just walked into that one. My nose hit the door.
The glass.
Actually, no, you held the door open and you were smiling at me saying, come on in.
Come on, buddy. You
That's
first.
funny.
And then it slams right at that moment. I've got tears coming down my face.
It's okay. We love you
Yeah.
so much.
Halo Reach comes to MCC, and by MCC, I mean the Master Chief Collection. During Inside Xbox, it was confirmed that Halo Reach will be added to Halo Master Chief Collection. On Xbox One, Reach's multiplayer will be included for all owners of the Master Chief Collection. The campaign and firefight mode will be available separately for purchase. However, for Xbox Games Pass members, all of Halo Reach will be available for free. I'm happy about this. I actually skipped Halo Reach.
Halo Reach is fun.
Yeah.
We played it
We had a blast.
I
It was
remember.
super awesome.
I remember when it came out. You were playing that multiplayer.
with me.
Every night.
We didn't know each other then.
We did.
I didn't know you.
You did.
That was when I told Sean lies about him.
In addition, no, you told him lies long before we lived together.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You're like, he doesn't like you.
He just hates you. He told me.
In addition,
Stupid bookcase you had.
do you go into my houses every time?
Love the bookcase.
In addition, Halo the Master Chief Collection will be coming to PC and Steam. It's being touted as an item that is built for the PC audience to include all of the things you would expect from a PC product. Quote, we're going to roll out each of the games in the MCC one by one. Steam for us is a new opportunity. We want to bring our games to players to the platforms of their choice, end quote. As of now, the Master Chief Collection will unlikely be a play anywhere game.
Yeah, I think they said they can't do it just because of the way it's designed. It's too much for the Xbox. Too much.
I think it's time for me to go back and play all the Halo games again.
You want to do it together? I'm on Halo 2, though, so I'm going to need you to catch up.
The first Halo game is long.
Yeah.
I would,
Really long.
I would play Reach with you.
Yeah, when you get to Reach,
down with
we'll
it.
get
Yeah.
in. Hey, because on Halo 1, when you get into that big open field, you don't know the field I'm talking about.
Yeah,
do you?
I do.
At the beginning.
Yeah. That's a long field to make
Yeah.
it across.
Yeah, it is.
But it's all good.
So different from all the other ones. It really is.
I thought at first you were being a Richard, but you're not.
No, I
So
mean,
now I'm
it's
So different as in better or just different?
No, just different style because, obviously that was before Xbox Live was even around. So you had to have this huge
campaign.
and
That's a
then,
good point.
Yeah. So obviously once they realized, oh, hey, all the money's in online, they adjusted.
But Halo 2 is not a short game.
No, it's not.
But still, I think Halo 2 was on the original Xbox as well.
It was the first game to feature Xbox Live,
one of the best moments in the Halo series when he jumps out of that spaceship.
right? I'm going to give them my bomb or their bomb back, sir.
Dude, epic.
Yeah, it was cool.
Speaking of cool,
And epic.
No, man. No, you did it.
wireless display app for Microsoft. The free wireless display app is now available for all Xbox One owners, and it can stream PC or Android devices to the console. That can be controlled by an Xbox One controller. In addition to this, the app also allows the use of the Xbox One as a presentation device. You can share photos, videos, and more to their console using the app.
PowerPoint.
As of now, only an Xbox controller can be used, which that's not a bad thing. That's pretty.
Clearly, this is the game changer of the news, and nobody can top this ever.
This is pretty awesome.
Everyone's going to it. I think
The console wars are over. They win.
Yeah.
That's just how it is, man.
They have them everywhere now.
Thanks for playing.
But yeah, it makes sense because especially that they're now announcing because they had talked about it was coming, and then of course PlayStation revealed theirs, so it makes sense to put theirs out. I don't understand what's going on.
That's so funny.
Yeah,
Didn't expect it. Was reading the next news blurb.
So
Nindies.
you've traded in your Xbox, right?
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
When's the last time you fired it up?
We watched a Blu-ray on it one time.
when's the last time you played a game on it?
I would expect you to play that one a little bit more because you and I went to go get that together.
What am I playing?
The Xbox One S.
Boo.
This was an important moment for me.
We got that together?
Yeah, the Xbox One S.
See how quickly you forget.
Is that the day
We traded it in together to get it.
Is that the day I bought your GameCube?
No, that was the day
That day.
we got Toad and Octopath Traveler. You see, I remember all these things. It shows me
Hey.
that I'm just dropping on your list.
No. Because what happened when you sold me that immaculate GameCube,
It was nice, wasn't it?
that blocked out every other gaming thing we ever did at a game store.
It was the quintessential moment of your gaming life.
Yeah, and I go, John, you can't trade that in. They're only going to give you like what I'm going to pay you for it.
I gave you market value. That's it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Speaking
of Nintendo.
so what? This is good.
what
The wireless display app.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Am I being dumb right now? Why don't I? You said it's the game changer.
It doesn't interest me. As we go through the news, you'll understand the irony of that statement.
The news team has set up an amazing list that it's like a story that's going to unfold
Absolutely.
today. I love it.
Come with us as we narrate to you.
I
the
can't
news.
wait, to be honest with you.
Speaking of Nintendo, though, Nindies, as
we were
they're
speaking
called,
of Nintendo.
when you got up,
Yeah, Toad and Octopath and whatnot.
Nindies Spring Showcase on Wednesday, March 20th. Today,
Tomorrow, yeah.
No,
today.
today, Chris. Let's be professionals for once.
Nintendo will host a Nindies Showcase Spring 2019 presentation. The presentation will begin at 9 a.m. Pacific Time, 12:08 p.m.
Boo.
Eastern Time. Nintendo. Whoops.
Really? Top notch. Is that okay?
I might have to take a call. Hold on, let me finish this. Nintendo has given no hints as to what will be featured on the showcase. However, what is clear is that 30 minutes has been committed to the presentation, which is a lot of time for a presentation on indie games.
Yeah.
And that time is welcome, if you ask me. It's
I'm
very
sure
cool of Nintendo to spend that much time
Yeah.
showcasing those games.
Well, Xbox recently got one of the big indies guys, right?
Yeah.
So I wonder if they're trying to really show off what they've got now.
They've done, they do like their Xbox things, like their live streams where they'll do something like that every now and then.
No, I'm saying I wonder if they're really focusing time for this spring showcase because we didn't report. That was pretty recent news that we talked about when that guy signed to the Xbox, wasn't it?
John just abandoned us.
Yeah, he literally just walked out and you just totally whiffed at what I just said. So
I know.
let's go ahead and go to the next thing.
Yacht Club.
Yacht Club to announce new game. A possible announcement on the aforementioned Nindies showcase might be Yacht Club's new game. In addition to bringing Shovel Knight, King of Cards, and Shovel Knight Showdown, it will also be bringing with it another game. No further info was given other than a you can say GIF or GIF at this point, and I won't judge you, showing what appears to be a shadowy ninja looking over a ruined city. It's important to note that this is a game that Yacht Club is publishing, not developing. Two different things. Two things. King of Cards and Showdown will conclude Yacht Club's Stretch Club commitment for the, as the news team typed it, Shove Night, but we all know that it's Shovel Knight series. I'm actually
Shove Night.
Old Shove Night.
Hey, I mean, if their ability to scout talent as far as something they want to produce, right?
Yeah.
Is as good as the games they've created so far, then that's a win for everyone.
I think it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah.
And
It
that's
was
it.
also trying to win. God of War leads the BAFTA. Yeah, I'm stealing from it. This is what he gets for walking out. Sony Santa Monica Studios God of War managed to receive the most nominations overall for the BAFTAs, having been nominated in 7 categories. Red Dead Redemption 2 and Return of the Obra Dinn each got 6. The winners will be announced on April 4th. God of War was nominated for Best Game, Artistic Achievement, Audio Achievement, Game Design, Music Narrative, and Performer.
You
That's
think the
good for them.
performer is boy?
It's
I would
the
think,
actor who plays Kratos.
Yeah, the one who says boy.
Oh, that's just the one who plays boy.
No, that's
No,
not.
the one that just says boy.
Yeah, boy.
They'll lose that one, though. Old
I don't know. I think they're going to sweep the Baptists. You know a term I heard this like twice in the last 2 days. Speaking of BAFTAs, was back row Baptists.
Yes, I can tell you all about those.
You know,
My father is a Baptist preacher. We got them. They exist.
I don't know. There was a bias to be had in this one, right? It is in Britain, and so is Rockstar. So
That's a good
Rockstar's
point.
in Britain?
Rockstar was founded in Britain.
Fun fact alert.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah. They have other studios.
I didn't
I
know
mean, they have studios everywhere, but you know,
Why don't Rockstar make a new Fable game then?
they don't make that
Well, because they're in Britain and they know all about the Brittany stuff.
because then there would be murders and drive-bys, and we don't need that.
In Fable, right?
Just
Dude, do you know one of the most popular streaming games to this date on Twitch is? GTA 5, dude.
oh yeah, it was number one when I looked yesterday.
They just keep playing the game.
They do.
All right, John, you're up on Battle Royale Firestorm.
Yes.
Do it.
And I'm glad you get to read the next one.
Okay. Oh, whoa.
Sean doesn't read the notes prior to the show.
Whoa.
Battle Royale Firestorm. Battlefield 5's Battle Royale mode, Firestorm, will be added as a free update to all Battlefield 5 owners on March 25th. The mode will be a 64-player Battle Royale with the options to play solo or in squads of 4, and it will take place in a new map called Cowboy. This map is 10 times... This map is 10 times the size of Battlefield 5's Hamada map, which is currently the biggest map.
Yeah.
Other features include airstrikes, vehicles, and destructible environments. EA also promises, quote, Firestorm will grow after launch with new features and improvements, end quote. I predict this will be the Battle Royale of all Battle Royales, and it will make every other Battle Royale illegitimate and worthless and pointless.
Your prediction's terrible because when a game like Apex comes out and it has that
Free to play.
that X factor, that je ne sais quoi about it, you don't see those coming, right?
Oh, I wasn't being serious at all.
I know you weren't.
Everyone who's played this,
I said je ne sais quoi and you didn't say anything back to
What
me.
does that mean?
I don't know.
I hate the sound of the French. What?
Oh,
What? I love our French listeners.
do we have any
style.
Do the ones in
Is that what it
Canada
is?
count?
Something like that.
Quebec.
But yeah, it feels like this was a missed opportunity for them. And everyone who played the betas and the alphas before the original main game came out of this mode said it was kind of a mixed bag and needed work. But now it's like, it's something where I think the majority of people who are probably playing Battlefield 5 either A, play it because it's not Battle Royale, because they just like Battlefield 5, right? And Battlefield in general, or else if they're just shooter fans, they've already moved on to something else. You know, this one kind of got lost in the weeds for them, which is just so weird considering how big of a property Battlefield is for them.
Well, Apex was 2 months ago. I know it's still popular, but Anthem is not a thing
Division.
anymore.
As much as I wanted to like Anthem, what is Anthem?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Where did my copy of Anthem go?
I think they're all going to be on Division 2. And then really they're going to be on Apex still. Apex and Fortnite.
Yeah.
Those rule the world.
I'm very excited about this next piece, as John pointed out. My mouth dropped
Read it to me.
during one particular game. So I'm a fan of the Sniper Elite series, and 4 Sniper Elite games have been announced. Rebellion has announced multiple Sniper Elite projects. They have announced a 5th mainline game, a Sniper Elite VR
That
title.
sounds dope.
And you have no idea how excited that makes me. Sniper Elite 3 is coming to the Switch, and Sniper Elite version 2 remastered. The games were announced in the developer/publisher's live stream, indicating that the games are in varying stages of development. V2 Remaster is due to release this year and brings the original to modern platforms with enhanced visual, 4K, and HDR support. That's good stuff. Sniper Elite 3 will also arrive on Switch this year. Sniper Elite VR has no set release date, but more details or deets will be announced this year. More details on the latest entry that we mentioned in the series will come in 2020.
I am intrigued by a VR sniper.
Dude,
game. That sounds great. And I should also clarify the Sniper Elite 3 for Switch is a remaster. I did not mention that, but it is
a remaster. They have an element when you snipe something and kill it. It does that thing,
that kill cam
through the bullet thing.
Yeah,
it goes through the body. You see all the bones and stuff breaking up. They have this knack for capturing that, and I wonder what kind of touch if something like that's going to be present in the VR game. I imagine it has to be, but that game would be so awesome in VR.
Listen, when I play Far Cry and I take down outposts, I do a mix of bow and sniper rifle. Mm-hmm. I will never forget the podcast episode where you talked about a Sniper Elite game, and you talked about this is a legitimate, basically a simulator for a sniper.
It's dope
game where you have to account for the wind, you have to account for all these different things. Where in Far Cry you point and shoot.
Yeah,
and I was just like kind of blown away by how seriously the game takes the craft of sniping.
Yeah,
so I've been wanting to jump into one for a long time. They're just a little intimidating to me. But
you should get Sniper Elite 4
in on your Xbox.
That's what I hear.
Right?
And they're actually for a low cost right now on. I think there's some free ones on Game Pass.
Even though there's like 1, 2, 3, 4s or whatever they are, standalone's fine. Mm-hmm. It does a nice little video montage.
Is it a character that it's centered around? One character?
He's awesome.
Okay.
If you want, I could give you my copy of 4 at some point.
Speaking of
sure, absolutely.
VR, though, did you see the rumor as far as a patent this week in VR?
I think I did. Let's go ahead and tell the people.
Supposedly, Sony has patented a wireless free headset.
I'm in
for their VR.
That would be next level.
Yeah, God, if they can put that out there without any wires, that's when it really gets real for VR. Yeah. When you go to a new level,
because there is a component to having that wire in front of you, even though it doesn't hinder you. You know it's there,
right?
So maybe it does hinder you. This is weird. We got light.
I'm like God, okay.
I don't know.
This doesn't feel right. This feels like it's like a weird day. We're not recording. Chris just turned on a light.
I don't know what to do.
I don't either.
You could get a battle pass.
Yeah, you can get a battle pass up out of here.
Lob.
John, go.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
There we go. All right, Apex.
John was a fan of the show for a minute, just watching us.
The light turned on and my brain fried. All right, the Apex Legends Season 1 Wild Frontier Battle Pass is now available tomorrow.
Is that Wednesday or Thursday?
I mean, it's available now. Actually, by the time they hear this, it's already available.
We got to get better at that,
right? Fire people on the news.
Well, I did it right the first time, and he corrected it.
It's a joke.
I don't take jokes.
It's a shtick.
I can dish it. I can't take it.
Yeah, you can. What?
So it's available tomorrow for 950 Apex coins. That's $9.50 U.S. currency. The greatest currency in the world. Every level gained during Season 1 unlocks
on that
a Battle Pass reward, and there are over 100 that can be earned throughout the season. These rewards include weapon skins, banner frames, XP boosts, etc. You can also buy the Battle Pass bundle. This unlocks 25 Battle Pass levels and the rewards automatically for 2,800 Apex coins. The Battle Pass is scheduled to drop on March. I didn't finish my sentence.
I know.
March 20th.
When you say the word drop,
you
got to just do the Beastie Boys thing.
I didn't know that.
In theory, that means you can buy for what, $28 if it's 2,800 Apex coins.
The Battle Pass drops around the same time as Battlefield 5's Battle Royale mode.
Of course it does. They know where their money is. They're not dumb.
Yeah, they got like scouting teams. They're like, hey, this is coming out. We got to do this.
They've gone to their offices and said, thank you for making this mode because we told you to make it. We're going to have to let it die. That's just what they do. Speaking of things that won't die.
Yeah, something that didn't die, surprisingly.
No kidding.
No Man's Sky. Yeah, that game. No Man's Sky Beyond will arrive this summer on PS4, Xbox One, and PC, and will contain 3 major updates rolled into one larger free release. The first update is No Man's Sky Online. Ooh. According to Sean Murray, or Sean Murray as weird people spell it, No Man's Sky Online includes a radical new social and multiplayer experience which empowers players everywhere in the universe to meet and play together, because that always goes well when you play with people online.
I remember when they told me that was going to happen in the original one. Like, I could just randomly run into someone on the planet.
It is not being called a traditional MMO, John, but will have many recognizable online elements and will require no subscription, no microtransactions, and is a free update.
Now you can go and with your buddies go break down rocks and make new things.
But you went to the center.
I did.
You made it, buddy.
Yeah, and then it just goes right back out to the beginning.
Boo.
Yeah, right.
So John, do you ever watch like League of Legends or anything like that online?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on, but it's fun hearing the commentary, and then when people what?
No, keep going. This is great. No. This is great. Just go.
There wasn't a pivot there at all for you.
I really wanted to answer this question because I know what's next. I really, really do, even though League of Legends isn't mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is that?
You suck donkey balls.
Sometimes, dude. Donkey. Donkey.
All right. ESPN Esports.
You didn't pronounce that right.
ESPN.
There you go.
Thank you.
ESPN Events has announced its first ever ESPN.
See?
No, this is not.
It's not going to work.
Collegiate Esports Championship. Schools in North America will compete in qualifiers hosted by TESPA. That's TESPA. And the Collegiate Star League, which will give winners the chance to compete in the live
LAN
semifinals.
There you go.
And championship that will take place May 10 through 12. Games announced for this will be Overwatch, Street Fighter Arcade Edition, Hearthstone, StarCraft 2, and Heroes of the Storm, and not League of Legends.
So basically Blizzard.
Finalists will compete for scholarships.
That's dope.
Yeah. This is becoming a really big thing as far as colleges now. Like a lot of colleges now are having esports teams, and they are recruiting kids to do it. And it makes sense that ESPN would get on this because there's a lot of money to be made there.
Give that man his money.
Finally this week.
No,
they're one and the same there, buddy. They're one and the same.
I know, but
I don't know why you divided.
But we want to do the.
I mean,
Google announces
finally this week.
Google announces Stadia,
which looks like STD.
It does. Google is throwing its proverbial hat in the ring.
Question: what other Google is there? Because you said that Google.
John, I know that.
just like that.
Ooh. And it looks to pose a potential threat to modern consoles as we know it. Stadia. I like Stadio. And this is what's going to happen with real people.
That's a misspelling.
Yeah.
That's the correct spelling.
Stadia is the right one.
Mother!
So maybe it is Stadia.
It is Stadia.
But Stadia sounds better because it's a play on stadium. Mm-hmm. But
keep going there, champ.
Google's stupid.
I'm just reading. I'm Ron Burgundy. We've talked about this. We just read what's there. Stadia is a gaming platform launching in 2019 that boasts no box.
Man, that's sad.
Not even your mom's.
Not even your mom's box. You can play across multiple devices, including laptops, desktops, and select phones and tablets. They're called the Google phones.
Pixel.
The commercial message, that's really hard for me to say. The commercial message says it all. Quote, the future of gaming is not a box. It's a place where we can all play all kinds of games across all kinds of screens. A place you can get to instantly with just a click. No boxes, no downloads. A place that never stops getting better. 4K, 60 frames, HDR, and ready for whatever comes out next. One place for all the ways to play.
Did you know a box is a place? Weird, huh?
Right.
Google claims that Stadia is more powerful than PS4 and Xbox One combined.
10.7 teraflops.
That's amazing.
That has to be said.
This technology will also allow for state sharing.
Mm-hmm.
Like Georgia to Alabama or what?
Kind of. You'll see.
That's dope, right? Players can lock in on any moment in a gaming experience and create a shareable link for that game state.
Whoa.
Other players can grab that link. Yeah, they can. And open the game at that exact point and begin playing the experiences from there. Shut your face. Google has also indicated that Stadia, the greatest thing ever apparently, will serve as a dev tool allowing to test out new art styles by feeding the tech certain images.
Watching him read this was like watching
finally
a
this
toddler open a Christmas present.
This is amazing.
Finally this week, PES.
Hey, we got 2 off this week.
Just read it.
Second one always hurts. You do it.
I didn't mean to put that in bold, actually.
No, you should. In addition. What? There's more?
There's more. Google has announced a new first-party game studio with recently hired Vice President Jade Raymond, whose resume needs no introduction.
Who's Jade Raymond?
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed.
The team will be developing exclusive content for the service that will launch later this year.
Yeah. I think that all they said was release 2019. So I'm guessing November.
Dude, what if we all just get, what if Stadia changes the world?
Now, I mean, it's hard to say. I'll say they're not the first to do this, right? Like, NVIDIA has one, and what's the other one? Shadow. That's what it's called. I don't know who runs Shadow, but like they've been out there, and there's been good and bad as far as they're concerned, mainly because if your connection's good, it's great. Plays just like you're playing a regular thing. Otherwise, if your Wi-Fi connection is not that great, then all of a sudden you have input lag and maybe some stuttering as far as frame rates and all that. But the difference between those two companies is that they're not Google. Google,
that feels like a weekend update joke.
Google is the biggest cloud company on the planet. There's just no debating that. That is their specialty. That is what they work towards. So you go, if you're able to really bring this, Google technology and cloud data and make it work and build something and slowly win over to getting people to put games on your store, yeah, that's a big win, because you're talking about like instead of having to go buy a $500 box every couple of years.
What's in the box?
Instead of having to do that, like you can literally just go buy for your TV. You could go buy, I think it's like a Chromebook Ultra, which is 4K streaming on everything, and will allow you to play all these games. And you could use your PlayStation controller, or I think they're releasing a controller too, so you could buy that if that's what you want. That's huge. That's getting a lot more people involved in this, especially as streaming or as far as, speeds of internet get better, as cloud data gets better. They've already talked about how, this is coming out with 4K 60 frames per second HDR, and they're already saying their target is in a couple of years to be at 8K 120 frames per second. So you're talking like most consoles can't do that, or will probably be eons away from doing that. And most PCs by themselves are going to struggle to do that unless you're really paying for like a $700.
Yeah, but how much is it going to cost? Is there any rumor?
As far as the service,
$7,000.
Well, someone made a good point. I was reading online. They said like, look, Google usually supplants the price of things. Like they will, they can put advertisements everywhere. As far as like when you're on your store or whatever, that's where they'll make their money.
Do you guys listen?
Before this cutscene, please enjoy an ad by Clorox.
Right?
Listen though, this could potentially, because it's Google, legit be a game changer. No pun intended.
And I mean, it's pretty clear this is where Microsoft's going to with Games Pass, right?
They're trying to,
because they're one of the other companies. Like I would say, if you were to go cloud-based services, it is Google, Amazon, and Microsoft. Those are the big three in the world right now. So obviously everyone's trying to gear up, and it's going to be this space race to see who can become Steam of this, right? Who can become iTunes or Netflix, take your pick, and get everyone and get the majority of the market in their favor. It's not going, I'm not going to say in 5 years everything console wise will be dead, but I would say it's starting that trend where you go, 10 years from now, yeah, this very well could be the only thing that's
think about
around.
this. You can still walk into a store like a Walmart, a Target, a Best Buy. You can still buy a CD.
Yeah.
But that one rack that has like all the CDs they sell now is the size of like an eighth of, or maybe even a 12th of what they used to be. It's dwindled down. And I think at some point the consoles, the majority of them will be cloud-based streaming consoles.
Yeah.
Which will suck for those people who
live in Montana,
live in a place where maybe they don't get the fastest internet, like Chris said. Or they just like that traditional, that game. They want to hold it in their hand. And we've talked about that before on this show. And even
I think that will still exist.
Friend of the show, right? Jeff, I mean, one of his biggest collections that he really loves is from like the Xbox One days where he's kept the console, the games. He's not one of us that goes in and, trades and uses like a GameStop to recycle games so we can play them. He holds value in keeping that collection. And I know people like that exist. I know, like you started really wanting to download stuff more.
Yeah. So far,
you've been downloading stuff, John. Ish.
It's like a guy I work with.
Thanks for the head nod on the podcast.
No, with the amount of, and I've talked about it on the podcast. I'm sorry you don't listen, Sean, but the idea of trading in a game physically has saved me a lot of money.
Sure.
For what we have to do to play games as much as we do, because it's not. I've just finally accepted. Trade the game in. Just trade the game in. I mean,
save yourself some dollars.
Yeah, and it saved me a lot of. Because I'm paying half the price of most of my games now.
And if you ever want to play a game again,
but if you weren't,
you can buy it again.
If you didn't have this podcast, though, would you probably just go digitally? Because I know you've bought in a lot of things digitally through the years.
I would be a digital person.
Because you don't want to leave your house.
I traded in the game of the year this year. I traded in Resident Evil 2 because I was going to get $33 on it. Put towards.
I gave that game an 8, and I gave Devil May Cry a 9.
I'll say it's funny. It depends on the console, right? Like on PS4, on my PS4 Pro, I'd rather buy the game. When I'm speaking of Nintendo Switch, I've been in the eShop, and I don't really care if it's a digital game.
Yeah.
It's weird like that.
I'm wondering and Chris, you might have a better idea of what this could be than I do, obviously. But is this an app on my smart TV? Is that what this is?
In theory, they could be.
They never really said what the delivery system is.
Like I said, I think for your TVs primarily right now, it's going to be a Chromecast. Mainly, if you want the 4K, you're going to need to get the Chromecast Ultra, which is like I said, $70. It's like, the same as like Amazon Prime or Fire Stick, right? How they have that. They have the 4K version of it. That's a little bit more pricey.
So you just need the thing to tap into the thing.
Yes.
And play it.
So there is a physical purchase you would probably need to get.
Well, probably like for now.
So it's
right?
It's a tiny box, not a big box.
Exactly. And it only costs you $70. And it only costs you $70. And it will probably,
bicycle in an airplane hangar.
It will probably be a thing that you could continuously play or like keep for a very long time because, of course, the updates aren't necessarily done on that device, right? They're done on Google's end, which is the advantage here. They don't have to worry about what you have as far as tech. They just need your input.
Well, I'm not going to be the naysayer per se.
But you're going to be the naysayer.
I think this idea, this technology, if they say this is what it is, and if there's no 6 months down the line we start learning more things about it, and we go, well, that's not exactly what we thought it would be.
Any wells might derail anybody.
This is an incredibly amazing piece of technology that I hope somebody else responds to. I hope Microsoft does this. I hope PlayStation does this, because this has the potential, if there's no response, to demolish the gaming industry as we know it, and that's not necessarily a good thing.
I agree. Yeah. I would love the most is if Phil walks out on the Microsoft stage at E3 and he goes, "So Google did this thing."
But the most important point I would want you guys to consider, and particularly our audience to consider, with everything we know about Google, do you want Google to have a full knowledge and understanding of what you game and how you game.
Well, they already
what
know
you
it.
want. They don't know mine.
They already know my search history.
I don't go to the Xbox game store. They say based on your purchases, this is what you might like. No.
You don't use Chrome at all? Like on your
Google Chrome?
computer, on your phone?
Yes, but I use it.
They know then.
But I use it at work, and I research things that have nothing to do with what I game. All I'm saying is,
Do you ever go to YouTube and watch?
all I'm saying is, Google Chrome or Google's technology can now drill down and go, you like this type of skin, you use this type of weapon in a game, and I go, there's some things I just don't want Google to understand about me.
But
and gaming is one of my passions, and I really don't want Google involved in it, to be perfectly honest with you. If this is the only option going forward, and this is the best technology, will I bite the bullet? Yes. But I don't see a time anywhere down the road where middle America has any option to get this type of technology. I really don't.
Maybe not right away. And like I said, I think you're going to still see boxes out there.
What's in the box?
It's going to be the big thing that's going to be interested to see is like, well, what is required for 4K? Like, what kind of internet connection do you need?
Oh, I was going to say, Chris,
as far as that. And like, there's a lot of things they're promising because they're saying like you're going to have the ability not only to play the game in 4K, but also at the same time broadcast to YouTube in 4K 60 frames per second.
Bro, put a link out there and somebody else picks up right where you left off.
But it's a bigger drill down for Google to understand what type of characters I like to build up in a game. What type of powers I value over.
They probably
do I
already
value
have that.
spells over weapons? That kind of stuff. And I'm like, is it harmless stuff? Maybe. But I don't want Google to, while I'm playing and using this technology, to bombard me with things that it thinks I want.
What this reminds me of is that
would be
we're
bad.
closer to a Ready Player One type world.
Sure.
Which I'm all in on.
Yeah. I mean, they are the
Living
ones
in
though,
trailers stacked upon
Not
trailers.
that part, but the putting on the
I will
headpiece
say
and
they have to come out swinging. They have to execute because, I think as far as positioning, right? Like if they nail it, if they really do come out and hit, then anything could happen, I would say, because they're Google and they have so much money behind them. But on the other hand, if they struggle, do they just bail on this? Do they, do gamers go, and move on to whoever else? Because I think the two that probably are best positioned right now as far as when this ever comes will be Xbox and Steam, just because they already have huge player bases, right? They're putting, people already know them in video games. Like you might not be a Sony guy, but if you go and someone eventually 5 years from now says, look, get all your games on Xbox and you don't have to pay anything. You just have to log into your computer or log into your TV and that's it. That's a lot of people will be, all the Xbox gamers will probably be inundated. And if PlayStation hasn't answered, then they might be inundated too. Steam is also big just because there's so many PC players already attached to that base here. Google has to build up from zero.
Steam?
If Steam has their own steaming thing.
I'm wondering if this looks like a Netflix app. You go in and you see
Probably.
all the games featured.
I'm sure it would be like when you go to Chrome and you just go to the main page and you see all the apps that are up top in the browser.
And plus, what's the cost involved in getting access to a particular game, or is it a subscription service?
Maybe both.
And do these games actually download, or because it said
no, they don't.
Well, it did say it. What it said was you can start playing immediately without the download being
correct. Yeah. Well, because there is no download.
That was sort of a mixed message there. It wasn't exactly clear because a couple of times they mentioned the fact that you were actually downloading a title, but you can play it immediately or almost immediately.
My big I guess pause to be excited about this is if I get to this point where there's a little Google tiny box sitting in front of my TV, but I have a game controller in my hand, and I'm all of a sudden playing a game on my TV, and I forget that it's a Google box and I'm holding a Google controller, and I'm a gamer playing a game. That's when everybody who's possibly on the fence about it, they're like, all right, this is fine. I'm playing. It's just like playing a PlayStation or Xbox. But if for whatever reason I'm sitting there and I don't get the gaming experience like I do when I play the consoles that we currently have, that's going to be when we all hit the eject button and the thing's going to fail. But the big if is, what if I'm sitting there, John, and it's just like holding your Xbox controller or just like your PlayStation controller, except for there's no fan noise. There's no crazy downloads when you first buy the game.
Exactly.
There's just AAA titles, and you just hit play, and here you are playing. We're done. We're buying Googles.
And Skynet goes live in summer 2019.
And like all the little things they're talking about, like where
It's scary if you really think about it. It is amazing to think about. But on the surface, we now have Amazon knows what I read.
Drones are coming.
Drones deliver my mail. Google knows where I live.
It's awesome,
They know
but
what
scary,
they
right?
know what my interests are, and now this company is going to know exactly how I drill down.
Why are you so worried about your game?
I've already said that in and of itself that might not be a big deal. I'm not saying that.
Well,
but don't you?
but they already do it now. Like that's the thing.
You
I
don't care about
understand.
You don't
like not just Google.
No,
like
they-
Microsoft does it.
No, they do.
Sony do it.
No, they do not know how you identify as a gamer. They don't know what skill sets you like to focus on. They don't know how you like to build up
but
your
why
character.
does that
bother me?
Still, I didn't say it bothers me. I said we should answer the question of do we really want these technologies that are bigger than many governments to understand us inside and out.
You're
and
okay
that's a relevant
No,
moral
I agree.
question for
So
our,
you don't want
for
them
our
to be a
age.
monopoly.
But you're okay with them knowing
They
you need
already are.
knowing that
Yeah,
you
I
need
know.
toilet paper and dropping off toilet paper. At
I
your
didn't
house.
say that either.
Oh, okay, I'm trying to clarify that.
I don't know. It's
You wanna
look.
fight?
I expect.
No, not at all.
I expect whatever they do. Yeah, they're going to run analytics because that's what Google always does, and they're going to give you more of what you want. And
Boy, the
that's what
analytics
they
on
will
my
do.
search history. Woo.
Yeah.
That guy needs to quit going to that one site daily.
Why do I get nothing? Why do I get nothing but Japanese manga games?
Who does that?
You do.
No,
Because
That's not what I do.
really that's your search.
No.
That's the only thing they're
No.
going to be able to offer you.
it's for Richard.
Hentai, Sean. Hentai.
No, it's for Richard fun.
Hentai.
exactly.
No hentai. What is hentai? Google, what is hentai?
This is a family show. You guys want to wrap this up?
Just to be safe.
Obviously never.
Okay. Emails. That's weird. That's weird because I didn't mute it.
Electronic mail from the future. What is going on?
Sean's never actually heard that.
What is this? What is this part?
But emails.
That's it? That little part is out?
Well, yeah, that's the fade out part because it's actually this big long thing before that.
That's what you said.
See how well I do that?
I do.
You can write your thoughts in to weeklygameschat@gmail.com. That's weeklygameschat@gmail.com.
Holy
And
moly.
eventually you will hear them read because, man, you people
Like-
writing in a lot, and I appreciate it. But
But
I
they
gotta-
disclaim it, Chris.
Yeah. But first up, we got Rob from VA, and he says,
Is this our friend Rob?
Dear gentlemen, I've been behind on your fine show as I've had to spend a good deal of my commute on the phone of late, but wanted to throw my 2 cents in on some topics on the last few episodes. Don't really play Smash, so maybe that invalidates the following, but I'm tired of hearing Melee players complain. They seem fanatical and unrealistic to me. I want to say entitled, but that's probably too strong a word. You said it though, Rob.
No, he wanted to say it and let us know it.
Melee was released 17 years ago on a console that's 4 generations old. Nintendo doesn't sell Melee anymore, digitally or otherwise, and makes zero money from it now. What do they expect? Even worse, every time there's a new release, the fans get up in arms and a substantial portion of them boycott the new portion. Boycott the new title. You don't see Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo or Street Fighter 3 Third Strike players complaining about those games not being at EVO, and EVO was arguably founded on those games.
True.
At least I don't see headlines about them on your show, IGN, Kotaku, Polygon, etc. If these were Madden, FIFA, NBA 2K, WWE 2K, or Call of Duty players wanting to stick with a previous iteration, they would get zero sympathy from anyone.
Fair
but
point.
Maybe I'm wrong. I'm the wrong guy to have an opinion on this. Incidentally, I would distinguish the Melee controversy from the controversy surrounding the Blizzard mobile game. That shall not be named because this has occurred with Smash 3 times
He
now.
found a way to bring that up.
I love
funny.
it. He's awesome. That's what he does.
This has occurred with Smash 3 times now and concerns major console direct sequels as opposed to a game read on a different platform. Also, if other Chris is listening, that is how many Brits pronounce controversy.
That's right. That's why we brought it to the show.
At least from my brief personal experience in London and Oxford a few years ago. Real Chris, if you didn't say it right, then you just totally blew it. That's funny.
Well, you didn't say that is how, but you did say controversy correct, as you always do, sir.
Also, John and I are apparently on the same page again. The union issue is a few episodes old now. If you don't want to read this on air, I get it. Do we want to read it on air? Okay.
I mean, we give the man his point.
Price point is a big factor. That shouldn't be underestimated.
He agrees with me. Read it.
I would plead poverty, but I do not make wise financial decisions with discretionary income.
You didn't read that right.
With my discretionary income.
And I'm already on the fence about buying a Big Mac value meal for $6.49.
It's a deal.
And if it goes up to much more, that's a good reason to upgrade to Five Guys or Smashburger. Do you guys have fast casual burger chains? We have
we've got Five Guys.
We do not have Smashburger.
But we smash.
We? He says, if not, think of them as Chipotle to McDonald's, Taco Bell. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
He
says, or I'm just going to eat at home. Right?
Yeah, that's what I would do. And have you seen how many kiosks McDonald's has now? They must have that must have cost someone their job. Probably so. Probably
one of those kiosks also have doo-doo on them.
I was about to say.
Don't touch them.
All three of you seem to be somewhat budget conscious when it comes to game prices already, trading things to subsidize the cost of new games. And I'm wondering if you might be even more so if you didn't have the obligation to play the new hotness each and every week.
Hotness!
Oh, the hotness.
Right?
I don't know. I still bought games even when we didn't have this podcast.
True, but as much as
no, no,
yeah.
Not at all, Chris. No.
I don't host a podcast and I don't play as many games as you guys do in general, spending more time per game on service games like WoW, Final Fantasy 14, Destiny 2, or replayable sandboxes like Cities Skyline, Civilization 6, and Stardew Valley. Case in point, I'm pulling the trigger on Spider-Man and Red Dead 2 only just now, since they're down to $32 with my Best Buy discount.
That's legit.
Right? Mm-hmm. I can't wait. I can wait a few months, especially for a single player game, if I'll save 40%. Maybe I'm in the minority, but I bet I won't be if the new MSRP for AAA gets to $80.
Fair point.
I got sticker shock when I saw the Division 2 Gold Edition was $100.
Yeah, that was rough.
And I'm positive these season passes are only going to get more pricey and pricing some gamers out if the publishers and developers are saddled with increased cost. Not sure what the solution is, but I don't think the union is the clear answer. And yes, I know that we've been spoiled by lack of inflation, negative inflation, really, given big games were $60 to $75 in the 16-bit era 20 to 25 years ago, but that's what we're accustomed to now. Kudos to the guy who disagreed with John and wrote back with a semi-retraction while defending his position.
Agreed.
The civil discourse here is the major reason why your show has become my favorite video game podcast. Additionally, my all-time favorite wrestler also happens to be the best there is.
What?
The best there was.
What?
And the best there ever was. I even got to my wife. To retroactively root for him after making her watch his documentary Wrestling with Shadows last year.
It's a great one.
Yes, it is.
I haven't seen it. Is it good?
That's when he fell out with WWF.
The most recent one I've watched was the Giant one from Andre the Giant on HBO. It's fantastic.
But yes, he is the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. There's no doubt about that. Finally, thanks for your thoughts on Anthem. I wish I could weigh in, having already purchased a month of EA's Origin Premier service for $15 this month specifically to try it out. But for some reason, I can't get it to run on my PC, which is the first for me because my PC is still fairly up to date with the late model i5 processor. I think I've read somewhere, by the way, that they're saying you pretty much have to have an i7 now for this game.
That's terrible.
Just the wave of the future.
The future.
16 gigs of memory and a GTX 1070 GPU. My FPS counter says I'm always at 50 plus, but my CPU seems to be pegged at 100% utilization, and I experience some extreme rubber banding and what I can only describe as stuttering, making the game totally unplayable. I tried to fix this tried all the fixes on the forums, but to no avail. Hopefully it was patched again this week and it will work for me over the weekend. Looking forward to the next show. You always leave me satisfied and smiling.
Yes.
That's what she said. Rob from BA.
Rob, you're awesome. I don't know if you still want to play Anthem.
Yeah.
Boo.
Yeah, it's having issues.
Awesome. But thanks for that email. I don't care if it was wordy, man. We appreciate you.
Always a pleasure to hear from Rob.
Yeah.
As I know he's a lawyer and has better things to do with his time.
Yeah, indeed.
So, actually making the world a better place.
Oh,
That's true.
oh,
It's a
Wait a
lady.
minute. It's a lady.
why do we do that?
I don't know.
Because I always ask myself,
Was this as a major sausage party, or
yes,
or do we actually have female listeners?
I'm happy about this.
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
See the gal nervous.
Hey,
Oh my God. What did I do? Oh my God.
What'd you just break?
I broke everything. All the things. There we go. We're back.
I truly enjoy the podcast on my Wednesday drive to and from work, as it takes me an hour each way. One episode fills my ears before work, at lunch, and after work, which helps makes Wednesdays good. I'm embarrassed to say this, but I got a new phone over the weekend, a Galaxy S10. Whoop whoop.
S10 Plus, bro.
Yeah, and can't seem to figure out how to listen to you guys on Android. I was sheltered on iPhone. How do I find Weekly Games Chat on Android? You can find it, I believe, through the Stitcher app. If you download that, you can get Spotify, and there's a couple.
Google.
I think Google Play has one. I mean, I think they have a dedicated podcast app you can download.
I also would say, at worst case, if you have unlimited streaming, just go to YouTube and listen to it.
Or go directly to our Libsyn
Yeah,
page.
until we figure it out. But there are ways to do it.
Google Weekly Game Chat and then download it on your
Here
phone.
we go, making Google do the work again, John.
I'm sure.
don't do it. They know. They know.
I'm sure you will read this on the show, but please feel like you don't have to. It's a little sad.
No, it's
that I
not.
can't figure
It's
it
not
out.
sad.
It's not sad.
It's a brand new phone. Things happen.
Thanks,
It's fine.
guys.
These guys can tell you the problems I have with technology.
Yeah, he sucks with it. I'm sure you will read this on the show, but please. Oh, wait. I already read that. Thank you guys for always producing great stuff, especially when you have a life outside the podcast world. Have a great day. Not your wife.
Your wife? Wait.
Jesse.
Okay.
P.S. As a wife, I crack up every time I hear your wife said in the infamous way you guys say it. And I often find myself joining in. I also catch myself from saying it to people who have no idea from where it's from. Love it.
Thank you, Jesse. Great to hear from you.
Thank you for writing in.
Tell your girlfriends about us.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Tell everybody about us, John.
That too, of course.
Yeah.
We
This is-
might.
no, Chris.
We'll do that one next time.
Chris.
Things close, Sean.
I don't care.
You're right. I shouldn't. Yeah.
Really?
Just my stomach.
It was things closed. Things closed, Sean. You were 30 minutes late today.
Let's go. Okay. Next up, we got Joey. He writes in. He titled his email Nintendo Switch.
Love it. Love the
He
title,
just says,
Joey.
Hey guys, I'm looking for some help. I bought a Switch over the weekend for me and my girlfriend to play, not his wife, from time to time. I love video games, but you didn't grow up playing them, and I'm looking for some recommendations for games that are easy and fun to play in short bursts. So far, I've got Mario Kart and New Super Mario Bros. Deluxe. Any other suggestions would be greatly appreciated. Why not get a Super Mario Odyssey while you're at it?
I would say Captain Toad Treasure Tracker is a great little pick up and play game. I would also say a game that Chris and I covered on this fine podcast, Overcooked 2.
Yes.
Would be super fun with you guys.
Stardew Valley.
Snipper Clips has a edition out now that couples, I think, would have a really fun time playing because you can play co-op together, and there's little bitty things you got to do together. It's fun, and also don't sleep on the Mario Party. That is the jam.
Yeah.
Just saying.
A lot of people like the Mario parties.
Hopefully that was enough, Joey.
Yeah.
Write in again if it wasn't. Cuss me out. Be fantastic.
See, they're all long.
That's what she said.
Okay, last
is a good one.
This is the last one I'll read this week. Everyone else, if you didn't hear it this week, I promise they'll
They're
be there.
here. I've seen them with my own two
Yeah,
eyes.
they're not going anywhere. I promise you this.
They're hungry.
Yeah, right.
It's
Just like we
late.
are. Hey guys,
Hey,
your podcast is great. Thanks so much for the time and effort you put in.
who is this again?
Richard, I guess.
Hey, Richard.
It's greatly appreciated, and like hanging with mates for 2 hours a week.
I bet he's British.
Mates. He likes hanging with mates.
Or Australian.
Maybe.
Yeah. I play on Xbone.
That's
Yes.
Xbox, John.
I know.
And recently completed Exodus, which is my favorite game so far this year.
He's definitely from somewhere because he put a U after O in favorite.
Ooh, yeah.
Does he mean Metro?
Yeah, Metro. Really, John? Really?
I don't know.
What other game is Exodus right now, John?
There was that biblical game that
Book of
dropped.
Exodus.
Book of Exodus in
Two things.
He said, it even made me shed a manly tear at the end.
Spoilers?
Oh,
Spoilers?
crud.
I
haven't
then went
finished
on
it
to play Firewatch. Very beautiful artwork, but man, there's so much sadness, especially one oh no point towards the end of the game. Now, as part of my play the games that should have been played season, I've gone back to PS3 play. The Last of Us.
He went back to play The Last of Us from PS3.
Yeah, okay, yeah. At the end of the opening act.
Sad.
Ooh.
Yeah,
That is a
got-
sad, very
that's
sad
sad.
moment.
That's
Yeah, what a great media video gaming has become. What a great media video gaming has become the story writing and emotional roller coaster ride. Totally the most value for money entertainment wise. Wondered what your take on some of the heart-wrenching, warming games in recent years. Game on.
Thanks for the email, Richard. Game on to you. Something that brought a tear to your eye.
Everything.
All the things we're getting.
The end of Journey made me choke
We're
up
getting
pretty
so
hard.
emotional.
Yeah. Journey was pretty hard.
I don't know, dude.
The end of Ori and the Blind Forest, the end of The Last Guardian, and some parts in between The Last Guardian.
I just had rage.
The end
with
of The
that
Last Guardian was
catbird.
pretty dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stupid catbird. I
Catbird.
teared up at the end
no,
of
no
Shadow of
issues with the
Colossus.
catbird, right, John?
None. Zero.
Zero.
Zero issues.
I haven't finished Ori, which I'll get a look from these two guys.
Yeah, they'll get you.
But I heard it's a tear jerker, so that's a good.
Even at the beginning is
Hey,
an
you've got an
emotional-
Xbox. Go play Ori, dude.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Firewatch. I want.
Sucks.
It did not suck.
Last year, Celeste ending is pretty like.
What about
Dark
the game about depression where she's I am
Celeste?
no, what's the I am no what
Hellblade.
Yeah,
yes
Hellblade.
Hellblade yeah that was that
Yeah.
a emotional one
It was
in
it
a
was,
different way?
It was emotional and in
Creepy.
in its ability for you to empathize with someone
empathy
with mental illness. It was emotional, but I don't.
but
know
not in the
that-
way he means it.
I don't
right?
think so.
Gotcha.
There was something
Chunk.
recently that I played.
Chris is hungry and is he ready for the Twitter?
There's a thing on Twitter. Where do they reach us at?
I'll tell you about my point next week.
What's the game, John?
I don't remember.
Right. So what are we supposed to do,
I could have remembered had my brain not been fried just
John?
now.
John,
Read the twits.
you told me not to lie.
Read
right?
the twits.
So I don't believe that you're telling the truth.
I am. I'm telling the truth.
My phone won't turn back right.
We got to go then.
That's it. Show's
Shut
over.
it down.
Show's over. I can't read side to side, guys. Can't do it. So, at one point, Chris earlier on alluded to a tweet that was out there that said, and this was by @Zexen389, that it seems the podcast spends less and less time on the game each week. By the 200th episode, it'll be just weekly chat, which I found hilarious. I did say that weekly chat would suck. Basically, F those guys. But thank you, sir, for listening. We had a couple people that like that. When I bought, I don't know if you saw this out there, John, but when I bought the Division 2, a strange thing happened. And if you see here, I put a picture out. We got, it's been a while on the Sirius radio. And then the Division. I was driving home when this happened. So that's crazy. And somebody was hilarious. It was at Dats Riley said, are you going to open that one and put a laughy emoji?
Yes,
Because, you know, I'm known
exactly.
for not opening things. I actually showed my mom the unopened copy of. Yeah, it's fun. So this is pretty funny. In a reply to that same little Twitter stream or whatever, Mario Orlando said he's got like a back and forth between a coworker and somebody else, right?
Mm-hmm.
So coworker, it's been a long week. It's been a long week, huh? Ready for the weekend? Me, it's been a while. Coworker, strange looking face with the eyebrow up.
Like what?
Me, your wife. Coworker, You all right? Me, your mom's box. So that rules. Let me see if I got anything else to go down. There's a tweet out there that many of you may not know what it's about if you saw it. But it was from Acid Sugar 1414. It says, serious note to @Weekly Games Chat. You don't owe me anything for this except more and more excellent episodes. Huge announcement. What he's referring to is our Discord channel is officially a thing. And as your ears hear this, we will have a link available, hopefully on this Twitter. Chris should put it somewhere, maybe on Facebook. He may even put it in the episode title. It will be your invite, your personal invite to all of you fine listeners to join us on Discord, where that is Andrew. He's a family member of the show is what I like to call him. He's also a friend of the show. He's a great dude. Him and I, he did all the work. I just wanted to be a part of, seeing it first and getting it kind of out there to you guys. But he is the true guy behind everything. He's an excellent, excellent person. He's all right, John?
He's amazing.
I can say all these things.
He's a wonderful human being.
So hopefully you'll like the channel titles. We're going to have, if you've ever been to Discord, you know how it's kind of set up with chat rooms and different places you can go. We're looking for some fine things to be in there. And again, we will get you guys a link to click on and accept the invite. You want to add something to that?
I do want to do say as a caveat to that, Andy is on a couple of watch lists.
Oh no. Retract all the things.
Andy's first name is Robert.
What? Who is this? Mario and Lando also. Again, I read a lot of their stuff. They're always really funny. And he wanted to say thank you, Chris, John, and Sean, for reading or liking my not so funny post on Twitter. I always get excited for the podcast on Wednesday to hear you read my post. You're great sports for responding to my spectacular, charming, and my lame post. Did I already type this? I did. I said this last week. But again, you're welcome for that. So I'm sorry for reading your DM twice. At Mr. Maidsian. Guys, thoughts on the new Toe Jam and Earl? Did you guys play the original? And go Vikings. I didn't play the original.
I played the original, but I have not played the new one.
Sweet.
Love the original.
And we got one follow at Lavernius Tuck 2. Thank you so much for the follow, following you back. Again, the big thing I wanted to share with you guys now is that look for this Twitter feed to show a link for you to join our Discord channel, which will be a place for you guys to get together. We will hop in there from time to time to hang, talk, just hang out and have fun with each other.
John, when are you hopping in? You're taking first shift, right?
Question.
Andy and I did.
You can use it on your phone.
Question.
Is an app on your phone.
What is Discord?
Wow.
Yeah, there was a point where Andy and I were talking to each other. Let me see.
We'll explain it to John now. Off mic,
No,
because
I think I have it actually on my phone.
There was a joke. Oh, here it is. So we're talking. I told him it looked good. Love the room names. Again, you need to go into the Discord app to see the room names he made.
Hey, Discord.
He said he was going to have more ideas he was going to work on, and we wanted to announce it this week on the show.
Yeah.
So yeah, for sure, we made that happen. We're working on what we're going to call our listeners because everybody who has listeners, they have nicknames for them, right? That's pretty. John's the smile that just crept on John's face was excitement. That was pretty cool.
Call him Richards is what we're going to call him,
right? And then he says, "You think John will join?" And I go, "Probably." And then he says, "Does he know how to Discord?" And I put, "I don't know."
That's a negative.
Clarissa will teach me.
But yeah. So thank you so much again, Andrew, for putting all that together. Woo-hoo. Can't wait to see you guys fill up that Discord room. Please let 2 people join out of the whole thing. Hilarious. But again, that's all I got. Find us on Twitter at the Weekly Games Chat. And Chris is getting ready to wrap this fine program
Can
up.
I add one quick thing?
Of course you can.
If you don't mind, I'd like to give a shout out to Offset Radio.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I let my co-hosts here listen to the brief segment on the episode from last week where you brought us up. It was very flattering. We appreciate the shout out, and we're giving a shout out back.
Podcast friends.
It would appear that my co-hosts were quite flattered by it.
Well, it was cool to see the thing kind of wrap up or going full circle from they found us by finding the Far Cry Primal episode we did.
Yes.
And then recently we shout out to them on the Far Cry New Dawn episode. So that was pretty cool.
As I said, they can't expect a letter from our lawyers because they said my wife on their show without express permission.
Cease and desist, right?
Yeah.
They did not get the express permission of the NFL and ABC. They,
I like I like their format. It's just two guys chatting, and they have really great radio voices. Both of them. It's
unlike us.
Yeah, it's,
And by us, he means you, John.
They remind me of a podcast I like. It's a political podcast called Mad Dogs and Englishmen.
Oh my goodness!
It's that conversation based podcast. But I would say they had Discord long before we did. So.
Yeah.
There you go.
Who did?
Offset Radio.
I'm sure they
Well, because
did.
they were smart and they realized,
they probably were.
Yeah, we're dumb.
Yeah, they're like,
we
this
don't
is
think
what we
about
got to
this
do
crap.
first.
Yeah.
We're like, what's Instagram?
Well, the thing with Discord servers is it's a thing. If you're a personality of any sort, Twitch streamers, I mean, everybody has a Discord that your people go to.
Some would say it's a place.
Yeah, it's a place.
But I do enjoy their podcast and their humor.
Well, I like having a podcast friend. I
Well-
can't wait till we break each other's hearts and we have a war.
We should meet. We should set up a meeting.
A meet
And
and
there'll be
greet
tears.
and be like, buddies.
Lake Bottom?
Inside joke.
I'm not sure where they're from though.
I don't know.
I don't either.
That's it. This has been episode
Who shut
100
it down? Shut it down.
I think it's 197, might be 196. I can't remember. It's one of them things.
One job.
Right? Well, actually, I got a couple jobs, but hold on. I might be able to figure this out real quick. It is episode 196. Yes, 196. If you like the show, subscribe to us on iTunes or whatever podcast service you use.
How does he have your art?
Huh?
That's what you meant. How does he already have that art?
Because I put it on the Facebook
Oh.
page. You would know that if you, but anyways, if you subscribe to us, you'll get a new episode just like this one every Wednesday for your enjoyment. If while you're there, please, and you like the show, please give us a rating or a like. It helps people find the show, which is always exciting. And
It's kind of like what we hope for.
yeah, it's kind of our goal in life, get more listeners, right?
Yeah.
If you want to write in, again, you can do so by writing us at weeklygameschat@gmail.com. And eventually, I promise you, all of your emails, regardless of length and time, will eventually be read. But we also are hungry. But you can also find us on Twitter, Facebook.
Already
You
said
can get
that.
us on Spotify, YouTube, and now Discord. So check it out. If you all demanded this, so we are simply here to please you. Wait, that didn't sound good. Until next time, I will simply say game on, Sean.
Game on, Chris.
Game on, John.
Game on, Chris and Sean.
Game on, Johnny Bear.
Your mom's box.
Peace out, everybody.
A thug